podcast. Okay. And now what do I do? Go to videos?
I think it should just pop up.
Huh.
We're live right now.
Is there a live one?
Oh, here it is. Yeah, the
Yeah.
homepage. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to play the fucking thing then. Get ready.
The Thurman and Lala podcast starts
right now.
There's been an eventful week in our little circle of, friends and world and shit.
Homoerotic escapades.
Furries.
Spirit, the universe's herpes.
Smack my lips.
It would be funny. I would laugh. These are real things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're biased, but that's okay. I don't know that farted on that cake. Does your mom or anyone you work with listen to this? I hope not.
Does anyone listen to this?
Yeah.
Fuck God.
Yeah. 40 minutes in, we got racist.
Camp down, raises, whack that dong.
Oh.
Stand down, you bitch.
Oh, if you
This is why the show goes so well.
does it go well?
It does go well.
And it's gonna fucking start right now. Whatever.
Come on, mom.
Clitoris.
Oh shit. Oh shit. It's the Thurman and Lala podcast. Look at that. We tried to get a little professional with an intro there.
Welcome back.
I haven't listened to that in a long time.
No, it's funny, man.
And I tried to include anybody who's been on the show with a little snippet. And I believe our friend Joe Russell might be in that intro somewhere. Cause,
I missed the intro.
Whoa, shit. Sorry.
I didn't see it going.
Oh, well, no, it's just an audio intro of like different clips of crazy shit that we've said over the years.
Oh,
But
cool.
you are, so this is our buddy Joe Russell, everybody. And if you've been a long-time Thurman and Lala fan, you've heard him a few times. You've been on.
Oh, wow. I can only remember one time. Well, no, there's a time with the girl with the boobs.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if that...
Topless blading, right? Wasn't it? Was it that one?
I think being referred to as the girl with the boobs might not have been their intention when they started
You
that
notice how
program.
I knew exactly what you were talking about, though.
And so everybody listening is like, oh, yeah, that one.
I mean, it'd be different if you said the girl with the tits. Then I'd be like, oh, her. But the girl with the boobs, I'm like, oh, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
I should just said the girl with the roller skates.
Yeah, well, they started. It was a group that started this topless blading thing, and it was sort of adjacent to Free the Nipple. I guess they had explained it to us. We were just making crass 10-year-old jokes the whole time.
Yeah, she was like really trying
But
to.
but that proves that they were fucking cool because she laughed along with it and didn't like get all shitty about it. So they were very cool. So topless blading, shout out to them.
And actually today I went through, because every now and again I'll lose the link that you sent me to the Cosby video that you made. And so like the only time Joe will hear from me like every once every 6 months, it's like, yo, can you send me that link again? Because it's the most brilliant thing, dude. It's honestly like it's so brilliant what you did with that.
I made that when the whole controversy first happened, like within the first few weeks, and it was really funny. Like I was doing it on stage, I was doing the bit on stage, everyone was dying, laughing, and then like as things started to get more truer and like more real, it started getting less and less
I know.
laughs.
That's how I was listening to it now, and I was like, but it's brilliant, dude.
It's
It's
like,
so fucking brilliant.
As the court case went on, more information came out, and the numbers kept going up, and you're like, oh fuck. Yeah.
It's like when I was telling that Ron
stand-up
Jeremy
for a
story.
couple years, and I did that bit in like a Brooklyn hipster super woke show, and people were dying.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can do that now.
No, yeah, it might be different, man. But I'm
No,
telling you,
not
it
long
was
ago.
brilliant. And not only that, but the video editing was like just perfect, man. Like, how long did it take you to make that?
Well, I wouldn't recommend doing that. I did pretty much the opposite of what that. What is that? Lip reading? What's that?
Bad lip reading? Yeah.
Bad lip reading.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they did it the right way. That's a better idea.
Yo, but no, it was perfect, and those quick cuts made it so brilliant, man. It was so. As those who haven't seen it, it's Joe like doing your impression of Cosby, which is fucking incredible. But so he cuts actual Cosby stand up, just the video of it, but to his own impression, and it sounds and it looks like that's what Cosby's actually saying, and it's fucking.
I'm gonna tell you what to do with the pretty women.
the cadence too, man. It was fucking. I was dying.
Yours is good. That whole era when that whole thing broke, we were doing two podcasts a week, and we'd always have all of our friends over, so we had different guests. So I got to hear everybody's Cosby.
That's
like,
true.
It's funny. Like everybody who came on immediately started doing their Cosby. Some were great. Some people would go, "Whoop," and then they would reel back immediately and go, "I shouldn't have done that."
Everybody's just doing an impression of an impression that they've heard.
Yeah,
It
it's
gets
like when
passed
someone
down.
does like a Schwarzenegger, man. Like, my mom still, for some reason, has probably never seen a Terminator, but if she goes to the grocery store, she's like, "I'll be back," and I'm like, "Why?" But it's nothing like it. You know
What a
what I mean?
timely
It's
reference.
the lamest. Yeah, exactly.
I think I probably stole my Cosby impression from Eddie Murphy's.
Yeah.
Like, so I think it was
And
like
then it
Raw or
kinda-
something.
it's
but
like a old-
I tried working on it like when I was 14 and 15. So
Yeah,
been
it's like
going
an
for a
old
while.
Irish like folk song that gets passed down through generations. And then,
Everyone has their own spin on it.
and then like one year the Puddin' Pop gets added. So now Puddin' Pop has to become an essential for the Cosby impression.
let me tell you about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
So from what I heard, is like he's in jail, but like he kind of like runs shit. It's like Goodfellas in
He's
there.
the
Like he's
man
pretty
in there?
set up. Like I think
he's cutting garlic with like a razor
yeah,
blade.
exactly. Yeah, he's cutting his Rohypnol with a razor blade. He would cut the roofies so short. He had a great system for the roofies.
It dissolved
He would
right in
cut
the
'em-
pan.
They would dissolve right in the thing. The girl would be out in seconds. That's probably what I heard, is that it's fucking Cosby and he's got money, so like people protect him and shit. I mean, he's a fucking
He's an old
100-year-old man.
Shit.
He's got one of them wobbly chihuahua eyes.
And
It has gone astray, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember my one friend said about what he looks like in like 5th or 6th grade. So this was like a long time ago. He's like, his nose is a different color than the rest of his body. It's got like a Muppet Sesame Street face.
Yeah, like how Gonzo's
like
nose was a different shade of blue. That's funny. Maybe he's like big on the suntan lotion on the nose when he goes to the
He
beach.
just, what the rumor was is that Michael Jackson donated it to him when
Oh.
he made the switch. You know what I mean?
Some sort of backroom deal for Rudy.
Yeah.
Damn, this got off the track. So Joe is a friend of ours. We go way back, man. Like back to like the
High
Twin City
school,
Kings
yeah.
days.
Underage drinking days.
Mm-hmm.
The Twin City Kings.
Barn parties.
And Odd Moses, our old bands, our old high school bands. Those stupid bands that would write like goofy songs that was like, Space Frog or like, stupid stoner shit.
Do you know where okay, so my niece and I, we watched Wayne's World the other day. And for years, okay, I'm 31 years old. And since I first saw that movie, I thought Cassandra's band was Crucial Todd. And it's not. It's Crucial Taunt. Crucial Taught, I think it is.
Crucial taunt. Like you're taunting them.
No, I don't know if it's Taunt or Taunt. I don't know. But point is, it's
Crucial
not Todd.
like a crucial toddler? That doesn't sound
Crucial
rock and
Todd.
roll.
It's a fucking, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything. That's why I was like, oh, Odd Moses. Like, you know what I mean? Todd, Odd. And that's kind of where that inspiration came from. And then I realized my whole life is a lie.
No, Crucial Todd is like a guy who like has the van. Like without Todd, this gig's not happening. Like, Todd is very crucial.
It's crucial.
It's Crucial Todd. I'm going to be late. No, you fucking make it there, Todd. We need you, buddy.
Now, Cassandra from Wayne's World, she wasn't that good of an actor, so I always assumed that she was like a real musician or like that was a real band.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think that's the case. I didn't. See, I just
No.
watched True Lies a couple days ago. She wasn't singing any songs in that.
No. But
I love hot chick bass players. That's my
Yeah.
it is pretty
biggest
cool.
crush.
Yeah, it is.
Wayne's World had a huge effect on me, dude. Like they were broadcasting out of my basement. A couple fucking idiots with cameras who don't know what they're doing. It's exactly what Wayne's World was. Yeah, but man, so yeah, dude, that fucking barn party. I remember playing that. I think it's the first time we did a gig with you guys. And
Yeah.
like at Gabe NASCAR's barn for legal reasons. But that was a fucking blast because we had you guys set up in a corner. We had us set up in a corner. You did a set. As soon as you were done, we started. It was fucking great. And then
And we may have gone back
like,
and forth. Once
yeah,
or
I think
twice.
so. Yeah, that was fucking killer, man.
That was a wild fucking night, man.
Well, we had a buddy of ours who was Jim Morrison for Halloween. It was a Halloween party.
Do you remember that guy?
The guy that jumped through the glass.
Yeah. Jump through the. It doesn't even have to end a sentence. Jump through the everything.
Yeah.
He was gonna be Jim Morrison and fucking hand it to him, man. He did a real bang up job.
Yeah,
because
he really
was a
did.
drunken problem the whole night.
It's not even like you could probably get away with jumping through a glass window nowadays with modern glass, but this is like an old farmhouse glass window.
This is like 1800s.
You somehow get tetanus from it, tetanus glass.
Exactly. You get a disease that doesn't exist anymore.
You get polio.
But he, that was quite the fucking night.
That
I
was
remember
dude,
singing
okay, so
Rage Against the Machine, and I got up on like the makeshift like pizza table, and it was just like a piece of plywood on like a barrel, and it just flipped over. And, like Franco's pizza slices.
a lot of people went into that table that night.
Well, that's the thing is we're watching, and we got a group of like hot girls dancing in front of us, and we're young men. We're like, yeah, this is the first time this has happened.
Rock and roll.
This is awesome. And Matt comes through and tumbles through, knocks the hot girls into the pizza. They're all covered in pizza. Their sexy Halloween costumes are covered in fucking marinara sauce. They're mad. The pizza's fucked up.
That's the biggest travesty.
Ah, you son of a bitch. It's like,
that's it.
we all it was like an airplane where we all went down the line and punched him, and we all had a different reason.
He
to
ran the
smack him.
gauntlet
Yeah.
out of the party. I've never seen anybody be kicked out of a party like that, dude. Like, seriously. Everyone
and
there was
kicked out.
waiting to just kick his ass, and then finally the one person did it, and the mob ruled, and everyone was just like, get him! You know? And I felt bad because I found him like bleeding and crying in a field, but I was like, you okay, man?
Yeah,
no,
but
you did this to yourself.
Yeah, you really did. But whatever.
And I'll always remember his name, because I don't really remember anybody's name, but it's always like fucking Costello. It's like Kramer.
Yeah. Well, there's enough of them that you can't pin it on which one.
I have a problem with that.
No, that's fine. No,
with
it
saying
is.
other people's names that I shouldn't say.
Yeah, and you only hear it in like a negative tone. Well, that was a crazy fucking night. But
Of course,
yeah,
we're
man.
talking about Elvis Costello.
Yes, Elvis Costello got shit-faced at a Halloween party we played when we were in high school. I guess he was in a bit of a drought. Dude, so what else? There was you were doing some magic at Legends when we played a gig up there, which was also a bad idea to play.
Yeah,
because
I did that for a long time. I did that for like until I moved to New York when I was 23 or 24.
Well, you were hustling, dude, and
magic.
I remember you doing tricks. You had some tricks, and you showed it to this girl who was a friend of ours. It was something with like little ducks, like you had little sponge ducks in your hand.
Oh, the sponge bunnies.
Yeah, bunnies. You made them multiply, and there was like a joke behind it. Like there's always comedy behind it. And
but I mean, it's not like I.
Not
wrote
like
those jokes. They come like
on
the instructions.
Yeah. But there was always
great.
Like, it was entertaining.
That's what's great about magic. You can like spend like $14.95 and automatically like you have an act.
Dude,
I'm 4 minutes of an act.
Ordained minister for $14.95, and I performed 2 weddings.
I get my jokes from popsicle sticks, so that's why I'm in a basement right now.
But I just remember you doing it to this girl, a friend of ours, and she was just like just the fucking loudmouth drunk chick. She's like, "How the fuck did you do that?" And you're like, "Well, I can't tell. I'm a magician. I can't tell you."
Yeah.
She's like, "No, fuck you. How did you do that?" And we're like, "Do you not know what a magician is?" It's like sort of the first thing is they don't reveal their reveal your trick. Why won't he reveal his trick? We're like, this is the first time you've ever encountered a magician. Like, she was so
Haven't
mad.
you ever seen The Prestige?
Yeah, you're so mad that you wouldn't tell her how you did it. And we're like, dude, that's like the code. That's the whole thing. That's the first rule of Fight Club.
I wish I would have. I don't think I can remember. I don't remember who that was. I was never really good at like hitting on girls with magic. Because what you're supposed to do is show them like a card trick or something to get to like break the ice, get them interested in you, do something unique, and then what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to stop doing magic, and you're supposed to like talk to them. But what I would do is 13 more card tricks.
And then
like,
you would
I got you stuck in one of those Chinese finger traps. For you. Why don't you come to my car? I'll help you out. Trust me, you can trust me. I'm a magician.
And then I would saw her in half, and she really didn't like that part because I didn't have that. I didn't really have that one down yet.
And then you, I think that's right around that time where you fled the area and moved to New York City.
Yeah. But that's solid, dude, because like we talked about comedy like years back. We would always just be belly up to the bar talking about comedy. Because if you're a real like comedy fucking nerd. Like when you meet a fellow person, like it's, you know, especially around here, like a suburbs, like nobody knows. I heard Tom say Rich Voss the other day. I'm like, you know fucking Rich Voss is? And we just talked about Voss for an hour. Because there's not
I don't know anybody other than you guys from Buffalo that listen to like O&A and stuff like that.
Is the fucking shit. It's the best. I used to
listen to that on the way to Bosie's.
Yeah.
For 2 years, you know.
Yeah, but now that's great that you're
doing it
adjacent to that world. Like I said when you that you posted a video to Instagram of Voss and Bobby just fucking trashing you.
That was fucking
and I was
incredible.
Like, that's to other people they might be like, oh my god, Joe is being beaten down by his superiors, but to like people who are fans, they're like, that's fucking awesome.
I was proud of you.
That's
right
a
there,
level
man.
up right there.
You like you got like one joke in, and like maybe like dude, I love that. Every
Boss
Friday,
said you
man.
look like Screech. He's like, I thought you died. Dude, it's fucking great.
My hair, I didn't have the hat on.
That's great. That's fucking great because those are when you meet like those comedian dudes. Like I've only like said hi to them briefly after shows because I'm at a dilemma there. I don't want to be the guy who's like, I'm such a fan, bleh. But I also don't want to walk past a guy I listen to every day and not say hi. I feel like that's even creepier. And then not wave, not even just say, hey man, good show, thanks. And then just listen to him in the car on the way home. Like that seems stalkerish. I don't know.
It's still weird to sort of. I don't really know anybody other than Bobby. I've just had a few encounters. Like so I'm actually at Bobby's house right now. I'm house sitting.
Yeah. That's why you're from Bobby's Shed Studio, right? Yeah.
She's got a cool camera and cool microphone and stuff like that. But I've only had a brush in with a few other like comics like that. So I filmed a lot of his live from the sheds. He'll bring like a comic in here.
Oh right, like the
this is all.
I watched the Bennington one. I remember, and
I'm sorry, which one?
The Bennington one I watched.
Bennington. Okay, no, I didn't. There's a few I didn't do, but that's how I first got to know him. Yeah, and so I was sitting in here with Anthony Cumia one time, which was
that's fucking wild.
Yeah,
my mind was fucking blown. I was just like, I cannot believe I'm sitting right here.
I shot the shit with Anthony for a minute after Chip Chipperson show in Philly. After I shot the shit with Chip Chipperson. Not Jim Norton.
With the character?
I've met Jim Norton twice, and I've met Chip Chipperson once. And I was like, oh my God, he's really not snapping out of it.
Jim was in here. We did one with Jim.
Yeah.
And then I had to I actually took the train back into the city with him. And he was just sick. He was just like blowing like fucking snot rockets the whole time. And like... he just didn't feel like talking, and I didn't know what to say to him. What do you fucking say to him? But like, he was really nice. We did Gary Goldman and a couple other ones in here, but we haven't done anything. Cool. No, we haven't done any live from the sheds.
How the hell did you like
COVID and stuff?
I know that you said that you were doing that, and that's how you guys got in cahoots. But how the fuck did you even get there?
So I do stand up like a couple blocks away from the cellar at like one of the smaller clubs, and I got to know his producer. So his producer does stand up, so he would come into the club and we would do spots together and stuff. He saw all the video shit I was doing, and I just ended up doing a bunch of like little intro graphics and stuff for Bobby, and you know, just started giving him things like here's some video for your beginning of your podcast, and I just kept doing that. And eventually he's like, why don't you come and film the shed stuff with me? So I would come up here and, you know, freaking out.
That's
and
great.
then, but no, he's had me on his shows.
So you're like you call into the Calta and Kelly a lot. So him and Mike Calta, when the pandemic hit, him and Calta started doing a show.
Yeah, actually, Calta's the first shed that I did. Cause
I
didn't even know who he was. And Bobby's like, here, why don't you come on over and film this one? He's my best friend. So like, if you mess it up, you know, it's not that big of a deal. It'll give us a chance to like work out the kinks.
I like Calta hearing that one, and Bobby being like, you know what, dude, this one doesn't even matter. If you fuck it up, who cares? It's just as a tester.
Well, I did the same thing actually a couple weeks ago with our cheese show that we do. We had a guest for the first time that was one of my best friends. So I was just like, you know, if we lose the audio or we don't film it right or
I
whatever.
got 3 backups going in case any of this blows up. I got just so we have something to prove this happened. Yeah, but you've always been down with the video shit. We did a little Mechanico shoot at NCCC, a little for the video.
Whatever happened to that?
I don't know.
Did it
You
ever
had
I
it.
think we
online?
broke
He
up
showed
after
it
that.
to-
I'm pretty sure
That was like at the disintegration, like the ending of the band. It's like the last thing we did.
Yeah.
But like I remember seeing it, whatever you sent to Steve, and it looked great.
It was
And I was
awesome.
like, yeah, do
Yeah.
whatever you want with it. Fucking. But I do remember going to End Trip. It was the first time I had been there since I just walked out one day, and I'm walking around and I'm going like.
Just into the field.
Yeah, I just like reverse Field of Dreams. I just kind of disappeared into the woods in Sanborn. Fucking, I'm looking around and I'm like, God, these look like kids. These look like little kids. These girls look like little kids. And then another friend of ours who was with us walks up to me. He's like, dude, there's some pretty hot chicks around here. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I remember
and
when
they all don't know what they want to do for a living.
Yeah.
Remember, I think we used to ride. I'd pick them up and we'd go to End Trip together. And then the one day, I think it's when you like dropped out or something, and we ran into somebody when we were walking out that we
Yeah.
knew from high school. What? Remember that? He was like,
It was a buddy of ours. Like, I just was wasting time, and I was wasting, like, the financial aid was out, so I was going to have to start paying for this bullshit classes that weren't leading to what I was actually going to do. So I was like, all right, later. All right, that's fine. Like, it's like Chuck E. Cheese when you're out of tickets. You're like, there's nothing for me to do.
like this
I
place
can't
fucking
get-
sucks. Let's
Yeah,
go.
there's nothing to do. It's not like a cool place to chill. And like I was like, I just signed the papers and was like, yeah, I think I'm done. I might come back later. I don't know. And then I ran
What's
into
great-
wait,
yeah.
what? What were you saying?
What's great about End Trip is you can switch your major like 4 times. It doesn't cost that much.
I don't even know if I had. I think I was just kind of meandering around. Like I was majoring and loitering. That's really what I was doing. And I ran
I took
into
theater. That was my first major there. I
It
did that for
sort
like a
of
year and a half.
applies to what you're doing, though. You know, performance, I guess, and stage. I don't know, productions of things.
Yeah.
No, I was like, why am I doing theater at End Trip? Like I could.
You should
Let
do
me
your
bring, like, a
act-
What do you
real
mean? They
skill,
have one of the
like-
most prestigious theater programs in all of Western New York. NCCC.
Yeah. Fucking. I can picture everybody with like a Western New York accent doing Hamlet.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Oops, sorry.
No, but like, okay, so it was some fucking dude from
Oh,
high
he's just
school.
some dude from high school we knew, and he's like, I'm like, hey man, what's going on? He's like, oh dude, I just aced my thing, I passed my thing, I got 100%, and blah blah blah, all these great things he just did, and I was like, that's cool, man. I just dropped out. Just
yeah.
like it was so fun to like pop his bubble. Like
I worked
one of the
really
Marlboro
hard
in.
and blah blah blah. You're like, I didn't. See you later.
yeah, no, this is this party's juiced, and I'm out of here. So yeah, we filmed some shit there with all those little kids, and that we always talked fucking comedy. I remember you saw one of Hedberg's last shows, didn't you?
At Riviera Theater,
Wow.
and this is like 3 months before he died.
Yeah,
And it was supposed to be him and the guy that plays the guitar, Lynch.
Stephen Lynch.
Something Lynch.
yeah.
David Lynch.
Stephen
Yeah.
Lynch. Stephen Lynch.
And Stephen Lynch didn't show up. He
Really?
got booked somewhere else, so it was just Mitch doing extra time, and he
Nice.
had like his wife open for him, and I think there's maybe like another comic from like Last Comic Standing. It was pretty good. It was
That's
really good.
amazing.
I loved
dude,
him,
yeah.
man. I love him. You know what I mean?
The first when you were telling me this story, I remember I just kind of like drunkenly heard you say Stephen Lynch, and in my head went Stephen Wright. So I thought you saw Mitch Hedberg and Stephen Wright, and I was
That
like,
would be amazing.
dude, that would be Guinness Book of World Records jokes told that night. 'Cause
Yeah.
each one of those guys is like quick one-liners.
It's like a
I'm
fucking Ramones
That's
show,
a
man.
million jokes. Like your eyes would cross, or you would spaz out. It would be like a strobe light of jokes.
Yeah, I don't think that might not even be good.
Yeah,
might
it would just be
like,
too much.
Too much.
Yeah, you wouldn't remember shit. You know
No,
what I mean?
no. That
Like I
was-
do a lot of one-liners and stuff. Like I pretty much do short jokes. Like I
Right.
follow in those footsteps, and I don't know how you're supposed to do like an hour of that shit.
I guess
haven't
time
had
you
to
just
yet.
collect enough good ones. And Hedberg's were so well. It kind of applies to like what you're doing with Calta and Kelly is like you say these jokes. Like Hedberg would have these jokes that were so fucking silly, but if you just waited a second, the guys would crack. And I can see that's kind of what you're doing with these guys. Like you're like, I'm gonna say the dumbest fucking thing, but I'm gonna get you to crack. Like his fucking is a hippopotamus, or just a really cool hippopotamus. And then you put it together, and you're like, "That's so fucking stupid." and then you're barely over laughing. You know what I mean? Like, your fucking joke about your friend who fucks Chinese girls was great. And it's just fucking funny.
The average person swallows, what was it, 10 to 13 dicks?
Every night.
Yeah, every
Their
night.
sleep or something like that.
Because I was expecting you to do the spider thing and then a follow-up to it, and then you just had dicks, and I was like, dude, I started laughing so hard. I was like, brilliant, genius, fucking.
Well, that's good,
you know?
man. That's what's got it. Just absurdist, silly shit. That's what makes me fucking laugh.
Bobby asked me, he's like, I want you to do like a fucking weekly segment on my show. And I was like, immediately, I want to do new jokes every week. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, new jokes. Because since the pandemic started, I wasn't doing comedy anymore. I wasn't writing anything. I hated myself for not writing anything.
Yeah.
So this gave me like an excuse to just like write 5 or 6 new jokes every week. It's getting harder, and it's getting easier in some ways. Like, I'm getting better at it, but also I've gone through like 7 of my old notebooks, and they're completely depleted of like ideas.
Yeah. I have better. I'm too, like, the word economy, especially in the type of jokes you're talking about, is hugely important. Every word's got to be in its right place, but it's like a Beatles song. It's like you got to write it over and over and over to make sure everything's in its right place. I have more ideas.
Yeah.
That, like, the one about, all right, so like a Jewish, like, if you get a tattoo, you can't be buried in a Jewish cemetery.
Yeah.
So like a kid saying his family, like, he has to get a tattoo, but his family can't see it, so he gets a tattoo of a tip jar, and his like dad pretends to not see it. Do you get the idea behind that? But I gotta word it out.
Yeah.
That's why I'm better on podcasts. I can explain what I'm talking about.
I have a raw one that I've had no time to work out. I thought of it actually on the drive here.
All right, fresh out the womb.
All right. Terrorist recruit young and
oh my God, he's got his phone. He
yeah,
wrote for
so
this.
I had to voice it. That I didn't write it. Terrorists recruit young and most idolize someone who went jihad before them. Do you think that there are hipster terrorists though? And they get annoyed when someone they knew got their moment before them and get all jealous because they knew the terrorists prior to when they blew up?
Okay. All right. I got it.
You know, could lose some words here, move some things
Could
around.
lose a lot of words.
I was like, hipster terrorists. All right.
The blow up is the part.
That's what I'm trying to
thing.
get to, but I'm like, how do I get? See, I'm more of a storyteller than I am, but hence by that fucking joke, it was more of a fucking story leading up to it. You know what I mean?
When I hear like hipster terrorists, I think of like someone that like blew up before it was cool.
Yeah, I think that's exactly, you know.
Okay.
See, you're better.
Like
at this
they were into like they were into the 93 World Trade Center bombing.
Yeah.
Because the 9/11
exactly.
was like the big famous
Old
one.
news,
but
man.
this was
So
like
mainstream.
the cool
Yeah.
punk rock underground one that happened.
You got to check
first,
out this
man.
Vegas shit, man.
Everyone's always talking about that one.
This
man.
Vegas stuff, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna pop off.
There's got to be those types of subcultures in any group.
I
Wait,
was watching
I know
a
how to fix
movie
your
and there
joke.
was an angry little fucking.
Joe can fix the joke.
Okay.
I know how you fix a joke.
Please.
Do a Muslim voice.
Yeah, no, that would be great. Yeah. Put that on your tape for Fallon.
Yeah, I'm gonna, with a towel and everything. You know what I mean? Make it real.
With all these hipster.
These
hipster
terrorists. Do you think?
Man.
I'm not gonna do it with.
Well, the beauty of like I don't know, like there's the old shows like you were on the one, the topless blading one, and all that. But like there's a lot of those that I just kind of kept on a hard drive because it was just a different time. And a lot of those guys now, like they were all drunk on the show. Like this one time I fucked this chick and I got shit on my dick, and like now he's got like a family and he sells insurance. And I'm like, I can't have that out there.
I know.
But I think we're like, I'm fine with fucking just, you know, putting myself in a position where I can say that shit and like say whatever just makes me fucking laugh and not have to worry about repercussions. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, right now,
comedy should be
to be canceled
unapologetic,
from.
man.
So
What'd you say?
I can pretty much say anything right now.
Because you can't be canceled.
You do because you
can't
do
be-
your own shit. That's why it's so important to do your own shit. You do the cheese show. You do like it's so important to be self-sustaining. You know what I mean? Louis was a huge inspiration with that. With me like I musically kind of took what Louis did, like with his shows and specials. I was like, I'm just gonna do like something in secret and then sell it on my website. Like, cut out all the middlemen, just do it myself. It's fucking way more work, but it pays off and it's cool, you know. It's like
and also, nobody's gonna like, no one's knocking down my door.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
You got to just make your own shit,
and then they can't take that away from you. Someone knocks someone fucking knocks your door down, gives you something, then you kind of owe them something, and then they can take that away from you. If you earn it yourself, you can't be taken away.
If somebody were to like find something that I said very offensive, which could very easily happen, but if they actually found it, I would be flattered first. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, wow, you listened. Thank you. You know what I mean?
What did you think?
Yeah. That's what, dude, we get great, like, comments and shit like that from our people who really love the show.
It's all our other dumbass friends.
But we always, like, encourage people to say, like, even if you tune into this for fucking 3 seconds, you're like, that's stupid. These guys are ugly. These guys are fucking idiots. You know what I mean? Tell us.
I agree with all that.
I'm just saying anything, you know what I mean? Like anything, and we wanted to hear it because a long time it was just him and I. There was no live interaction, which is a new element to the show.
A week later,
yeah.
You know
See, the thing about what you do, man, it's scary as fuck to me because you get immediate feedback from like these fucking top.
Oh, you mean stand up?
Yeah, like that. Who better to judge a fucking joke? You know what I mean, or to get a reaction from than another comedian.
Right. Well, that's actually the whole plan. Is like I write them all on the cards, right? So now I have, let's see, I've done 23 of them already, with like 5 or 6 jokes each. So I mean, at least one of them is going to be good from each show. So I mean, that's like a whole new 10 minutes when I finally comedy opens up in a couple weeks. You know,
you're good. Yeah, that's good. You know, use the time. Fucking is shit starting to. I mean, I know there's underground little pop-up shows happening. We're playing those too. You know.
Yeah.
But you can't.
So
really...
the place that I do 99.9% of all my shows every week is slowly starting to open up, and I think it'll be back within a month, hopefully. Nice. But I don't know how it's gonna work, if people are ready to come in to see comedy, and because I know people get barked in right from the street.
Yeah. For
the most part. So I wonder if people are going to be susceptible to that sort of thing.
On my way through Times Square this was after I was in New York City and I saw you.
Yes, which is so weird. We ran into each other.
I don't think it's that weird because I went to the fucking Olive Tree Cafe and I was like, I bet you I'm going to see fucking Joe here tonight. And I'm sitting at the bar and I look across and there you are. And it just was not shocking to me at all. It's like it's like if me and Steve ran into each other somewhere. Like I'd be like, yeah, like. And I walked over and you're like, there's fucking 9 million people in this city. How did you find me? I'm like, we have similar interests. I don't know. You know?
Yeah, I was doing comedy classes at that time because that was like
with
6 years ago.
Rick Chrome, was it?
Rick Chrome. Yeah, Rick Chrome.
Yeah, was he the dude who gave the speech on Louis when they were playing cards?
Yes.
Yes. And that was like... Yeah, we know what
the circle jerks or whatever it is.
Yeah, he's talking about like gay orgies, and someone goes, "What if you do? What do you do if you see someone you know?" And he goes, "Say hi."
Which is funny. Rick told me is that Rick had told Louis that story. Like, so Louis didn't know anything about these jerk off clubs. So Rick told Louis, and then Louis
that's fucking ironic.
Wrote the script.
He really did some research after that.
Yeah. but Louis wrote that script, so he turned Rick's story into the script, and then Rick had to learn to memorize Louis's version of his story.
Yeah.
So it's like a weird thing.
Yeah, that is pretty weird. That's pretty wild, though. I mean, that's incredible, dude.
Well, it's good. I mean, this is it's really putting the test that, you know, people can blame shit on everything shut down. Like, yeah, that sucks. But like, all right, switch gears, do something else. You've been very active. The Cheese Show is great, man. Where did that come from?
You know what's crazy is we filmed it, the first episode, like a week or two before the whole city shut down and before we knew this pandemic thing was going to be so huge. So we actually planned on doing that before, and the pandemic just gave us a whole bunch of time to like really hone it in and like figure out what the hell we're doing. So I think we would have still done it anyways. Yeah. But it wouldn't have been as good, or it wouldn't have been as thought out.
It's exactly what happened to us. We just like, he just was like, let's start the fucking podcast up now. Like our schedules kind of opened, And I remember an early episode of like this new Thurman and Lala 2.0 era, whatever the fuck, where he's like, I think this fucking coronavirus is going to be a real thing, man. And I'm like, dude, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, everybody blows shit out of
proportion. They blow shit out of
proportion.
proportion. In 3 days, no one's going to be talking about this. This is probably exactly a year ago.
If you listen to like the first episode from when we started back to like, and it progressed, and then it'd be like we're getting more and more scared, and then eventually it's like, it's total denial, and then it's like acceptance sort of thing, and then it's like anger, and then we're like,
I'm
you know
accepting.
what, fucking bring it, I'm ready.
I was in acceptance mode, and then they're starting to book gigs again. I'm like, fuck, shit's heavy.
Yeah, like my schedule is so full right now. Like I work a full-time job, and I edit Cheese Show at night. I edit another podcast for my buddy Usama. I do clips for Bobby. I'm writing jokes for Bobby's show. A couple other things, and I'm like, how am I gonna fit doing stand-up every night now into it all? So we'll see.
You gotta go crazy. I think that whole crew, when I started listening to O&A, and you would hear Norton was out working on sets last night and then got up and went and did radio, or like fucking a guy like Sam Roberts who had like his own podcast. Like, nobody's stopping you from doing your own shit. And I was like, oh, these guys just do fucking everything they possibly can, and it pays off. You know what I mean? You just get more out there. I do fucking a lot of podcasts now between me and him and me and Captain, and we do me and Steve, or me and Pete do essentially what we do with the Friendly Foes live streams. That's like a musical podcast. Because I don't want to learn new songs, and I feel like a fucking dork sitting here singing in my basement to nobody. So I like to just improvise the whole time.
Yeah.
Which brings me to a thing I wanted to talk about was, I think, are you even wearing a fish shirt right now?
Yeah.
Every cheese show, you're rocking a fish shirt. And I ran into you at that.
Trying.
I ran into you at that fish show in Toronto. That's a thing we also we had share that passion.
I realized that most of my shirts are fish shirts, and I didn't ever plan on it. I just was always drunk, and I would always buy a shirt, and then I realized, oh, these are all my shirts now. And everyone gives me all my comic friends give me shit about it, but they've never been to a show, man.
It's hard to it's very funny to listen to people who aren't into it, like their description of it from the outside. But if you get it, you get it.
And I was at an Humphreys show on, who knows what drugs, probably very fun things. And I bought a t-shirt and a DVD to like possibly in my head at that moment to relive this amazing, like euphoric experience at home, and it definitely like, you know what I mean? That didn't work. That was a waste of it. The DVD was probably like $40, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like, fuck. And that was like, YouTube wasn't that big of a thing at the time. You know what I mean? Like, so you had to buy shit like that. And
what's funny is I had a hoodie on today. It was a fish hoodie with the exact same logo. I didn't even realize it. I took my hoodie off before this podcast, and it was the same shirt underneath. Like, what a fucking loser!
I remember actually at that show, man, because I was super fucked at that show, and this guy was like, I got separated
these eventually
from you
just
guys.
Turned into meetings at certain points.
So like
that's when I really started to think, what am I doing?
But like, all right, so everyone in the room is obviously fucked up, but this guy who I don't know is next to me, and he's just like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, and we like, kind of look at each other for a second. I'm like, and I'm have to talk to somebody, anybody, anything. I just have to say words, and I'm like, hey man, you like Humphreys? And he's like,
yes.
Yeah, like what? No. That's what he looked at me. He's like, no, and like kept jamming. And I was like, and then I kind of like sobered. That took me out of the element. You know what I mean? I was
He
like,
did you a favor.
Okay, I was like, thank you. Yeah,
Oh,
that guy.
Sure, we have a million stories. But I
Was
fucking
it a town ballroom show or something?
Yeah,
like
it
that?
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was on the second little tier, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's the pit and everything. I think I had to like excuse myself from the pit. There's a little more room, and then that's what I felt. I must engage this guy who's fucking like so into the show and conversation.
I think a way of
the stupidest question of all
explaining
time.
what like Fish and the whole jam thing or the improvised music thing is to a comedian who doesn't get it would be like the difference between a live act and a podcast. You know what I'm saying? A live act is like you're going to see fucking Billy Joel, and he's going to do the hits. He's going to do everything that's written. It's timed out to work. It's worked on, a set that they prepared. In a podcast is they improvise, they bounce off each other. And then if you do it right and you have the right guys, it can lead to these fucking moments that even the band didn't see coming or the fucking comedians didn't see coming. And then everyone's laughing and pounding the table. It's a beautiful thing. It's like catching that lightning in a bottle. It's like, oh, you should have been there. With a podcast, you can go there.
Right. And it's actually, it's funny that you bring that up. I've seen so much stand up. I go to the Cellar all the time. I've seen Killers. I've seen a show once on a Tuesday night. It was Jon Stewart showed up, Colin Quinn, Louis, Ray Romano. So it was like a murderer's row, right? It's hilarious. But the funniest comedy show I ever saw was a improv show once, and that's because it just all came together. And I've been to terrible improv shows though too.
I could go. Yeah,
They don't have a good reputation. But then you look at guys like Chris Farley and stuff came from that world, like Second City and stuff like that, where they would do sketches and more sketch comedy.
Yeah, the best show I've ever seen was an improv show, and like 30 of the worst shows I've ever seen were improv shows.
You know what? That might apply to jam bands too.
Yeah, that's
you could
true.
go see the best one, and then you go see like all the carbon copy guys, who have fucking Space Frog as a song or whatever the fuck. But that's the way I see it. It's those moments happen that like nobody saw coming. And like the musicians didn't see it coming. We all just followed this thing. We bounced off each other just like musicians do, and kind of ended up in this area that no one planned on. And I think that's the same thing as like a jam band to a fucking. But I'm sure if you tried to explain this to anybody, you'd get 3 words in, and they'd be like, "Shut the fuck up."
You're
noodling.
noodling.
Just the whole scene too, though. It's like a big party.
When I took Lee to her first Fish show, I was like, "This is not America anymore. We are leaving America." Okay, this is like Godfather 2 when he's in Cuba and they blew up the car and all this shit. Like, we are going into some crazy shit. Money means nothing. All right, T-shirts, grilled cheese, and drugs are the only forms of currency. There are no laws. Those are not. It's not someone's birthday. That's not why there's balloons there. It's a different fucking world, man. That's why it's interesting too, because you just get to go to like live on a different country for 2 days. It's great.
And I get spoiled too because obviously MSG is right here, so I get to see all the New Year's shows, Baker's Dozen when they did all that shit.
They just own that building. I went to. Did you go to the amazing. Not the last ones, but the what was it, 2018 to 19, when they had they did This Is What Space Smells Like, and they had
that was my favorite one. You were there?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, we were like right kind of kitty corner behind the stage. And that one, I loved that. I thought that was great. And you know what it reminded me of? Remember in Muppet Christmas Carol when the ghosts come? Marley. Yes, that's what they look like. It was.
That's my favorite part of that movie. I would just fast forward to that part.
That's why you like the fish thing. That's why you like the fish thing. Oh yeah, that was a really good one. Yeah. But the way like when they played Lizards, because it's New Year's, New York City, they played Rock and Roll, Velvet Underground. The whole thing is like MSG bounces, the building fucking shakes. They rocked that shit so hard. They came out for an encore and he started playing Lizards, and the whole place went just fucking silent. It was chilling, and MSG felt like it was this big, and Trey just had it in his hand like a little bunny, and he was just petting it. It was fucking incredible.
So good in there. It sounds so good.
And there's some people
Trey says in interviews, he's like, I could close my eyes,
and
I know I'm in MSG. Like you could blindfold me, put me in a place, and I would start playing. I would know this is MSG.
Yeah, that's it. It was definitely, you got that vibe in that room, and the amount of history and shit that's happened there.
Yeah, and then you're doing whippets in the parking lot after. Well, there's not really a parking lot. It's
it's just the street.
Next to the taxi cab.
Yeah.
So after that, I think I told this story maybe. I don't know which show I told it on. I do. That's the thing with, like you said, about never really ending, like full time constantly. I'm like, I've told this story to either a friend at a gig at Set Break, or on this podcast, or on the other podcast. I don't know. But we went to a pizza place after one of those shows, and it was one of those New York pizza places that had the signed pictures on the wall. Okay. So you're looking at some Yankees players and some actors. So you're like, oh, hey, check that out. Fucking Edward James Olmos or whatever. And then you saw one, and it's Al Pacino from Carlito's Way. And you're like, holy shit, Al Pacino. Like, that stepped it up. Al Pacino, holy fuck. And then you look, and he's sitting with John Leguizamo Benny Blanco from the Bronx, and it's a signed John Leguizamo. And I'm like, you might just want to take Pacino out of that, because you get like, oh fuck, Al Pacino signed this. Holy fuck, I'm gonna take a picture of that. Well, John Leguizamo's cool too. That's still pretty cool.
Yes. Every time I see a
Son
movie,
of Sam's good. He's great in that. He's so weird.
Yeah, but every time I'm watching a movie, it's usually like a fucking 90s movie or something, and you see like the cast list, you know what I mean? It's like Kurt Russell, and I'm like, yeah. And then all of a sudden it'll be like John Leguizamo, and I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right.
I don't mind a John Leguizamo. If they had a signed John Leguizamo, I'd be like, that's cool. But don't
with
put him
Al
in a
Pacino.
picture with Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you guys remember?
It's like, fucking De Niro and Ben Stiller, you know what I mean? And it's like, wow, De Niro was here? No, Ben Stiller was, actually.
No, it's the kid who played his son.
The little fucker.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember every Pizza Hut had those pictures of like King Kong holding like a slice of pizza?
Yeah, kind of. I have very vague memories of Pizza
I'm trying to
Hut.
get my hands on retro fucking Pizza Hut stuff, like the Pizza Hut pizza cutters through history.
Yeah. And the red cups and the lights. Didn't they have like weird, like those dim, like stained glass lights that would be like over a pool table? Yeah. Oh, and they were like probably stained glass, like little slices of pizza.
How about the clock that sped really fast? It said every time is pizza time or something. Or it's always pizza.
It's
time.
like it really is like, don't stop eating, fatso, keep going. Who referred to Chuck E. Cheese as a child casino? That's the funniest shit.
It really
Big
does
rat
start you
child
young.
casino.
Yeah.
Or-
You know what? I don't want to. I hate like doing the fucking other comics fucking bit thing, but like Vecchione's bit about fucking Chuck E. Cheese is hysterical, and everyone should go look it up right now.
Not
Mike
the second
Vecchione's.
after
no,
this
oh
is
yeah,
done.
no, whatever. But it's so fucking funny. Yeah, that's quite the fucking establishment they had going on over there.
So
I did the new jokes once for and Mike Vecchione was on the show, and after every joke he sort of was like, yeah, I think there's a little bit more to that. I think you could really explore that idea a little bit more. Like,
He's a funny motherfucker.
But that's fucking great feedback, though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if I would tell somebody else, they'd be like, okay.
It's
you know
a
what I mean? But even me
fascinating-
saying that terrorist joke to you, like, I'm glad that I could say it and then maybe work on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I trust your opinion. It's not like you just fucking say to somebody. Like, these are your, not only your peers, but people that you actually fucking look up to, which is fucking
They're
sweet.
fucking good. Like,
Yeah.
Vecchione is one of the best. Didn't he win Comedy Album of the Year last year? That one he put
no
out
idea.
is so fucking good. He's just so that perfect mix of like just silliness and brilliance. You know, he's great.
Something that we did a while ago, well, years ago on the show. Is remember when I came up with
Oh jeez.
English words that are like how to speak Italian? but
Oh
with
yeah.
English?
If you say him with an accent, it is fucking hysterical.
So I drive a lot at work, and I started thinking about
Steve's the guy who gets tied up by the Joker's henchman. he drives the money around.
Yeah, I'm the money guy. So yeah, I got a lot of time to think about useless shit. So I started, another one, how to speak Italian using English. All right.
yeah.
Hippo gypsy, armadillo porno, portopati salmonella, albino vagina, YOLO, melanoma paranoia, Yuma Arizona papilloma, arpeggio chlamydia, Lama dioramas panorama dilemma, Giancarlo Esposito diarrhea, Ringo gonorrhea, Paraplegic Montezuma, Cristina Ricci Schia Sorrento, Portobello Calamari e Machu Picchu. And that's what I did today. So
Yeah, you got to make it sound just natural, like you're an Italian
you
guy.
do like a
speaking.
back and forth, Giancarlo Esposito diarrhea, arpeggio chlamydia. You know what I mean? You got to have the in the middle of it. Portapati salmonella e l'albino vagina.
Yeah.
And it sounds beautiful. Cellar
does.
door, the most beautiful.
WrestleMania was a good one.
Yeah, WrestleMania.
add a number to that too, like WrestleMania 13.
Dude, I was watching some YouTube video. I think it was, some Jimi Hendrix thing. And the guy was like French TV, and the guy's like, "Well, let's have Jimi Hendrix, Burt Bacharach." And I was like, "What the fuck could he have just possibly said that tied those two together?"
This is what the world means to Jimi Hendrix. You're like, what?
I thought he was like saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, Jimi Hendrix and Burt Bacharach." And I was
Yeah,
like, really? Well, this is quite the pairing.
That would probably, like, if it was an early thing, they probably would have had Hendrix open for Burt Bacharach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How they used to fucking
Well,
throw him in, like, he would be the opener for the Monkees
They would
and
hire
shit.
him for like because the Monkees took acid and loved him, and then showed him to a bunch of 13-year-olds, and they scared the shit out of him. Fucking yeah, it was a wacky business back then, man. That's just fascinating.
Absolutely, man. Do you I know that you said your material is like you're using it on the show. Do you have any that you would like to share with us today and our viewers?
Oh shit.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, man. You actually had cue cards in your hand, so I figured.
Oh, these are the jokes I did this week. I don't know if there's anything that I didn't do. Let's see. Yeah, this is one. Here's one that I didn't do on the show because it's not good. I just decided like 5 seconds before I went on, I was like, I'm not going to do this one. It's just as I read it all out loud, I'm like, this is a lot of words.
What is that feeling? What is that when you end the joke and then you sit there and go, okay, there it is. I'm waiting for the verdict. Like, didn't Voss just like boop and his camera was gone?
2 people I think just fucking clicked out like right
You're walking Zoom rooms. That's impressive.
That's the 3rd time Voss has hung up on my jokes, so it's just.
To be fair, he might that might have been an accident.
I'm assuming that he's just going to do it every time. I think that's his shtick. If I was smart, I would actually write a joke for when he does do it.
Yeah.
Let's see. You know when you keep checking your losing scratch-off ticket again and again to make sure you didn't miss anything? That's the same part of your brain that keeps checking the fridge for leftovers. All I need is to match my Chinese takeout with my roommate's cold pizza, and I win diarrhea for life.
See, you can't do it. That wouldn't work on our show. Alton and Kelly will give you shit.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll start laughing
I think
like
it's
that,
brilliant, dude.
and then that'll make me laugh, and then we'll all just start laughing. Like we're gonna go do it as a perfect joke.
I think it's your I think it's your fucking delivery, dude. It's like the way your eyes light up, like right at the end of it, you're like, here it is.
It is.
That's the best part for me, dude. And then when they're just like, nah, like next one, you know what I mean? Like, what else you got? Or they fucking click off, dude.
Well, that shows like, you know,
Bobby loves it. Bobby loves it. That Kelta hates it.
Yeah, which makes it funny. Like when somebody's not enjoying what's happening, it makes it so much funnier. That's what like a lot of people don't understand. They're like being like, you getting upset at this is making it a lot fucking funnier. I wasn't going to keep going with it, but now you're getting upset. It's making it very,
That's
very
the
funny.
best thing you can do is probably let me know that it's bothering you. And then, you know what I mean? Then I keep going.
Kelta's awesome. He's a really nice guy. I think he secretly likes it, but he's got
but that's brilliant in of itself right there, man.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
I love those old stories. We were talking. They just put that Patrice documentary out, but I love those old stories. How they would take each other to hack court, and they would like they would hold hack court, and they would take somebody's bit and put it on trial and find out if it stinks or not. Like that's fucking hilarious, and that takes like real love and honesty. Like that's a beautiful fucking thing that a lot of people don't have.
It's like a personal roast.
It's like when you go and hang out with like, you know, you see like your cousin who's got kids and they intermingle with the other kids' parents. It's so phony and weird. Like they're reading a script about the weather. And then you watch those dudes interact. You're like, that seems real. That's fun. That's like when you watch Tough Crowd, like I believed them.
Well, they were just so mean to each other.
Yeah.
But I think there's something really great about that. I think it actually made them so much more funny.
Of course.
I think that's something that the comedy community is sort of lacking now because everyone's like all like supportive now. Like that was,
which is
really funny, man. That was really great. And so at our little table where it's just, you know, people like me that have only been doing it for 6 or 7 years, I try to just shit on people, and sometimes they look at me like I'm an asshole. But I want to start that negative energy up. That's my goal.
Well, it's sort of keeping everybody, I don't want to say in check. I don't know. it's just fun. Whatever's fun. Like, it's just fun. I don't know. We can psychoanalyze everything. Like, it is good to be supportive. I mean, one of the things you say is, like, these are the people who will say fuck you to your face, but then behind your back say nothing but good things about you and help you and, like, give you things. Like, it's funny that Bobby, like, he gives you work and he lets you come on his show and then makes fun of you in front of his whole giant audience he's been building for 25 years.
Yeah, if they didn't actually like each
both of
other,
us.
if he didn't actually like me, he just wouldn't even talk to me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. So, like, he does nice things, but then he shits on you on the show, which makes it fucking hilarious for everybody.
I enjoy
which
it.
I definitely want it, you know?
Yeah, like I said, man, that's like a rite of passage. Being shit on by Bobby and Voss is fucking pretty big. And I know I'm just like the dork who listens to it all the time. Because, especially now, because you listen to every show, and of course, the topic of, Corona and Trump and all that bullshit inevitably comes up, so it's fun to go listen to old stuff. It's fun to go listen to old O&A, and it's very funny when you hear, like, Anthony go, like, so what's Twitter? What is it? And you're like, oh, it's the fucking gun that is going to shoot both your feet off.
When I listen to those old shows, though, like, a lot of times I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe they were saying this stuff. I can't remember the
heard
time
Jay
when you
Moore
couldn't get away
drop
with it.
the N-bomb like 17 times today. Just like, and it wasn't that long ago when he had a show on CBS at the time. It's when Gary Unmarried was on. It was Jay and Patrice were in studio. And it was fucking hysterical. But Jay Moore's just dropping hard R N-bombs and everyone's laughing. And he goes, then he's like, I got to go do The View. I'm like, that seems like, how insane does that seem right now? Well, to promote his CBS show where he's like a dad. And he's on there doing Tracy Morgan's, smoking PCP with Tracy Morgan stories on Opie and Anthony. Like, it's just a different world.
I think the problem with people getting canceled and stuff is that no one's listening to, like, the context. No, of course not. No one's like, where is this person coming from? What's their intention? Are they pieces of shit that are racist, or are they
it's
making
clickbait
a joke? Does it come from love?
You know what also is interesting about listening to old stuff is we can go pull up a YouTube video of Bill Burr and Jim Norton having this exact conversation in 2008, like word for word. Like, it's just, you end up talking in circles. It's just people who want to have that talk. It's part of they think they're in some social club and all they want to do is talk about that stuff. It makes them feel good. And I don't know, we just want to sit around and make fucking dick and fart jokes. It's not,
with occasional racial slur. I mean, God help us, Jeez.
He's Italian. He's allowed to.
It's in my blood. And I'm part black. I learned from that scene in True Romance, so.
From the waist down.
Yeah.
But that shit is so much, like, that is the funniest shit to me. Is that spontaneous stuff, those O&A years, a good podcast, like the early years of, Bobby's podcast is still great, but like when Soder and all those guys were like kind of newcomers, like that shit was just fucking hysterical. There's nothing better. It's like you're a fucking drug dealer. Like you're selling like a great feeling. You're selling pure joy right to people.
Yeah, and I think you could still say that stuff. It just you got to find your audience. I mean, look at the most popular podcast right now is called Come Town.
Yeah,
and I mean those guys, they found their niche.
Yeah,
and
it's just fucking funny. Like it's just silly and funny. And it's a big fucking world, man. Like I know, like if you've done some traveling, like well, when we saw you at the Comedy Cellar, we just flew back from Japan, so I'd spent like a week and a half in Japan. So I was like fucked in the head. Like my memory of the Comedy Cellar is like a dream because I wanted to walk in and just be like, does anybody have any idea what's going on over there? It's fucking crazy. Like, did you guys know about this? Like I was in a real fucked up headspace.
Is anybody aware?
Because like, you fly around the world, it totally changes your perspective. And then you realize like there is a band playing like a huge theater, so maybe not now, but like that we've never even heard of. Like you can find, especially with the internet, you can find your niche audience. You can do exactly what you want. Find those people who like what you do, and you can do it. You just got to do all the work yourself.
I don't like the things that I am becoming accustomed to with this.
I thought you were just gonna like end the sentence there.
I don't like the
things that I'm becoming.
Yeah. No. Well, that is definitely a daily struggle. What I have become.
It's a full moon. Fuck.
But like, all right. So I was at work and I was I was doing the casino ATMs, and I'm looking around, and like every single obviously person there has a fucking mask on, and like at first it's no big deal, and I'm like, no, this is fucking weird. This should not be normal. Because at first I was like, yeah, just looking around, that's it, and then it dawned on me that this is like last year would have been the weird. It still is weird to me. It's not right, man. And then all the cancel bullshit too. Like it's like everyone's afraid to say something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but where, like you just said, Come Town exists. Like there's shit. Bill Burr did a fucking sold out show at the Royal Albert Hall and did a solid 20 minutes on blow up dolls. Like it is there. You just don't.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It's just shitty for like younger people who don't have that power or don't have fuck you.
Well,
money
I mean,
yet.
obviously concerts and going to events and things like that. I miss that. But one of my things that I used to do at concerts like a lot, because I did it accidentally. Well, I let a fart go in a crowd, and it was really bad. Like really bad.
You're drinking, you're eating like fried food.
Yeah,
and
like
shit.
fried food, fucking draft beer. Yeah, it's hot outside, so it goes through like a filter of like sweaty, moistened butthole hair, and like whatever
like
disgusting thing I fuck. Yeah, and the drugs and the disgusting shit that I had the night before.
You got mushrooms churning around in there, dude. You have a fucking.
But so this
problem.
was in an indoor show. It was at the ballroom, and it was fucking rancid, man. No, not the show. Like my asshole was rancid. I figured we're probably some fucking.
I was rancid.
And like it was fucking awful. But I was like,
the ballroom
I was
is
the
known
first
for
one to
its
call it out.
intimacy. Like it's known for like its. Yeah.
I love seeing shows there, but farting there is even more entertaining because
ballroom
then I'll
actually
be like,
refers to
because
like
I'll
what's
look
going on in
around
underwear.
and people are like, do you, like everyone's like, is it not just me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you smell it? And I'm like, who the fuck would do that? That's so disgusting. People are like, yeah. And so I would fart, and then it became a thing. I would just let them go and then just look around and wait for people's like negative reactions and then join in on that negativity and be like, this is wrong. Who would do that? Looking around. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of equate it to the one time I had these rolling papers that looked like cigarettes. So it was like the paper and then the butt. But then I was out and outside of, I think it was Rapids, and I was smoking a joint. But it looked like cigarettes. And, dude, the fucking security was swarming around me like flies on a pile of shit. But they could not land on the pile of shit because they didn't know where it was coming from. You know what I mean? Like, I had so much fun. It was like, oh, my God, look, they don't know what's going on, you know?
I think what would happen if you farted at a rancid show, there'd be a mosh pit, and it would be like a circle. And it would like the air would just start to circulate and kind of form like a Sharknado of punks in your fart. Yeah. I think that's what would happen.
That would be
like it would get twisted up. It would
see crowds
in the ballroom though, because it would become one of those like wind tunnels where you go fucking skydiving. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like in the ballroom because it's a circular room.
And this is why show would be good for that. I think.
What?
I think a ska show would be better for that.
Everybody would skank around.
All the horns would cover up.
The horns are just blowing puffs of smoke out.
Everywhere. It rises to the band and they just blow it back at the audience, dude.
Yeah, dude.
All those douchebags who like cut through to get to the front of the fucking.
A tuba is just
stage.
a fucking amplifier for a fart.
Yeah, essentially.
It's just.
But then, so I was thinking about that one time where, all right, like. I saw a video the other day of a girl. She posted like she had like one of those iRing, cameras, right, on the front of her thing, and it has audio, right, on her front porch, right. So the dude, she's like, this is the guy I hooked up with last night, and the dude leaves in the morning, closes the door all quietly, and then he rips ass and like walks away.
I saw that.
Right, and it's like, and people were like, dude, like you know how long he was probably holding that in for, you know what I mean? And then I started thinking about date farts, like post-date farts. That you've been on a date for hours, and then as soon as you get one time I was on a date with this girl, and we were out in Buffalo. We lived in Lewiston, so it's a long drive to Buffalo. You do the thing, the drinks, the whatever, all the workings going on in your belly, right? And then you come back and you maybe make out or you get lucky or whatever. So you're really desperately holding this thing in. So I drop her off. She leaves, and it's wintertime, so the heat is blasting in my car. And I wait to make sure she gets inside. Yes, and it's worse when you fart in heat, So like I ripped ass for like fucking. She left the car and she walked in the door. I saw the door close and I let it go, and it was like a 7-second fart. And it was loud. It's powerful when you can hear the whole fart, because you know how it'll do like that initial burst and then it'll go. you know what I mean, the rest of it. This was
I'm
like
aware.
a loud like fart for the whole time. And I didn't notice because I was so relieved that like she had come back out to the car. So she opened the door and all the heat and the air of that, it blew her hair almost, like not the force of the fart, but like opening the door and all that stuff. And she forgot her purse. I didn't see that. Her purse, she left it right here and she just ate it. Like she just ate every bad thing about
herself.
me. Yes. I didn't mean to. I really didn't mean to. And fucking she just
again,
ate
like the other guy, you were
the
trying to be
essence of
polite.
Steve.
You held it in the whole date.
Yeah, for sure. And then I thought I was coast is clear. I saw the door close, and it's not like I, put it in reverse and then farted out the driveway. I just like sat there and kind of just like, and then she ate it. She ate the essence of Steve, like everything about me. She learned a lot.
I started farting in front of my girlfriend probably like 3 or 4 months after we started dating, and after I did it, she was like, "Oh, so that's what you're doing." She was always wondering why, when we were watching a movie, like I'd be like tensing up, like why is my stomach getting all tight and stuff? Like why am I flexing to keep the fart in?
I was on a first date and we were hanging out on this girl's couch, right? And I don't play the tickle game because I'm not fucking 5, But she was like. She was 5. I was babysitting. But like no, so she was trying to. No, that was her flirting thing. So like she was like, I was like, stop.
It's how to break into like being physical.
Yeah, exactly. But I understand where it was coming from. But what happened was I let out a fart, and we could both hear it. We didn't acknowledge it, and we thought that was the end of it. And then the smell came, and then we didn't say anything. And I was like. Well, I'm gonna. This was great. I had a great time. And still not acknowledging the fart, and it's still like right here. And I'm like, I had a great time tonight, and I'd like to do it again. And which was completely because I never talked to her again. And how could I? You know what I mean? Even if she was great, maybe.
But you did acknowledge it in the way of just like you both understood like this transaction is over.
This is done, yeah.
It's like the timer went off with a hooker. You're like, okay, that was your hour. We'll see if you never, we'll see you again, knowing he's never coming back.
Yeah,
It's like George Carlin's joke, right? Where he's like, if 2 people are in an elevator and someone farts, both people know who did it.
Well, I've talked about like the super hungover, like your stomach is just full of acid, so you wake up, you have to piss like crazy because you drank 87 beers before going to bed, just a nightcap, and you're pissing, and while you're pissing, your stomach, it's all liquid inside of you. You just kind of let one of those little thin out, and it's going to be a problem.
Yeah,
It's about
bad.
to. So you fucking turn around real quick to sit down to just let all the draft beer out. But now you're sitting right where your ass was. Like you kind of you just left that little cloud there for yourself to sit in. Now you're sitting there and just evacuating everything with a face mask of it.
It really makes
terrible.
you confront yourself and who you are.
Nancy Reagan should have told the kids that.
I am, like I said, 31 years old, and I still do this to myself accidentally, but I have not learned. I have a tendency to fart before I get in the car. So then, as soon as I'm opening the door, it's just my body just decides to fart.
This happens often enough that you notice it and you've noted it.
Yes, but I don't do it. I don't sense it happening. I don't have the spider sense to know. You know what I mean? But I've been doing it since I could drive. That's how I realized that this is a problem.
But it's
because
like a reaction.
You end up dragging the farts
sit down
with you,
and
though.
right exactly where, like you were saying, you fucking fart while you piss, and then you have to sit down and basically just think about it.
You just put yourself in an airtight container. Like if it rains, nothing gets wet in there. It's an airtight container, like that shit, like on a spaceship. You just farted in a spaceship.
But that's the thing. I could easily just let it fucking air out for a few seconds. You know what I mean? Why don't I do that? But
It's
I'm
weird
I'm
that it
getting in the
happens
car,
every time.
and it's in the motion of getting in the car. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
weird that it happens every time.
I wouldn't say every time I get in the car, but it does happen quite often.
Often enough that it's a theme. It's like a Pavlov's dog situation. I don't know if there's got to be some sort of every time you're going in the car, you're like, I don't want to bring.
I do that.
I don't want to bring this with me, but you never thought about the. There is a bit of a Halley's Comet trail, like a comet trail that follows you in.
Well, everybody's done the thing where you're on a date and you open the door and you put her in the car and you close the door and you fart all the way around the car until you get to the passenger side. Everybody, I am sure people have talked about doing that before.
But that's like. What, dude? What on that talking funny thing that's like Seinfeld and Chris Rock? Like Jerry Seinfeld has a joke about exactly that, but in a
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
That's his vacation. Is he gets the car packed, and when he walks around the car, that's his vacation. The rest of it's a nightmare. This is our version of that.
Absolutely.
And if you have like extra farts where you can't get them all out by the time you get to the driver's side door, what I like to do is just sort of like pretend like you're checking like the tires.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Making sure. Oh, someone left a little spot.
You could probably. It could be like, hey, these tires are a little full. I'm gonna let out a little air, and then just trying to do it like do one of the.
Do you? All right. So you obviously remember the one. So we were gonna play a gig, and you tell the story better than I do because you witnessed it. The
one at the pub.
At the pub, yeah.
Oh my God, classic. This is classic. Fucking all right. So you remember the old pub in Lewiston, right?
Yes.
Like club pub night. Shit would get crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We play gigs there. So we get there. We set all our shit up. We all go do like a little sound check. We go to the bar to get beers, and we all reconvene outside. Now outside is like this. It's not a patio. It's just a fenced-in part of the sidewalk. But the fence is a U shape that goes further out than the width of the doors. The way I can explain this is the old school hockey creases before they moved them in. Before the no goal. You know what I'm talking about? How the crease was a little wider than the net. The net is the door to the bar. The crease is the thing. There's a girl standing in
I like that. That's
the
good.
girl's standing like in the corner of the crease so that if you walk out of the bar, she's directly to your left, but very missable if all your friends are standing there. So we all reconvene.
We set up everything.
We reconvene at the tip of the U, and this girl's over here talking on the phone. And Steve comes walking out, and he doesn't see her. She's to his left. He doesn't see her. He just sees his friends, and he goes, and I'm standing there, and over his shoulder, dude, 5 feet. I'm being
like
generous.
She's right
I'm being
there.
generous when I say 5 feet. I see her over his shoulder on the phone, and she's like. Like she made a face because the person she was talking to heard it.
I didn't know because they all start laughing and I was like, that was a funny fart, but what?
No,
what,
we didn't start laughing. That's what tipped you
off.
off.
Yeah, it was the horror and the face and just like the mere surprise. It was like when you do your punchline, you're just like,
you farted on this girl, This girl. Like I think a tuft of her hair flew back. Like it was like you farted on this girl.
I legitimately, I
there.
didn't know that she was there. I just saw my two bandmates, and we were outside, and I was gonna go smoke a cigarette before we started playing or setting up or whatever, and I had to do, I had to let one go, a really, really big one, and she just ate it. I mean, she totally fucking.
But it was great from my perspective.
Like I had no choice. Like I force fed her this fucking fart.
In The Godfather 2, like Michael Corleone always has that guy in the black hat over his shoulder. That was that.
Course, yeah.
It was you, and then she was the guy in the black hat. So for me, I got to watch her react to just being farted on, just directly at her face.
And it was like a sunny day. It wasn't even nighttime, right? It was like a beautiful summer
She was
day.
on the phone, dude. Whoever she was on the phone with heard it. 100% it was so loud because it was quiet out. It was just the three of us and her. So I'm hoping that she's talking to a guy like, yeah, I just got here. I can't wait to see you. Oh, my God. That wasn't me. That was,
I swear.
Some guy standing in front of me.
I ruined it for them. But I did not mean to, man. I really did. Because had I known, like, I wouldn't have done that. I fart around people. Sure, that's funny. People I know. You know what I mean? Or talk about it to strangers on the internet, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
that was a lift the leg and point. That felt personal.
No, that I did lift the leg, like, because it was funny to these guys that I share like a fucking room with that we all fart in.
From her perspective, it's like when a dog like pisses on you and you just like, hey, that felt like you chose to do that, you fucker.
I like, when you have your friends around, you want to fart in front of them. I love like when you have like tight jeans on. And like you're on like a hard wooden like bench, you can really really crack it.
Like a military snare drum, like a real tight. you could play taps.
That reminds me.
Oh, you know what's best is the fiberglass seats at McDonald's.
And what a better place to fucking fill up on farts, huh? Jesus.
I don't know, like,
dude, could you fart in a slide of a McDonald's and have it echo out like a fucking?
That would be pretty cool. Yeah,
It sounds like a boat horn.
Just an echoey toilet bowl fart's great too.
Yeah.
I'd like to like mic up like a toilet, just like a drum set, like put like the bass drum mic down there.
Consensually.
Yeah. Like, so when I have these girls come over, right, I just mic their farts. You know what I mean? I mic the toilet. I don't watch them. Okay, I don't put a camera, but I do put a mic. So you'd sue me. Fucking a good way to replicate a toilet fart, Joe, is to have like a paper towel roll. And you just spit it. I'm telling you, it makes the exact same sound. I wish I had one handy because I would show you.
Oh, you mean you do it with your mouth? You don't hold it up to your ass?
No. Yeah, a good way to replicate a fart is by farting. Right? That's a toilet fart without being a toilet fart.
Thermopolis Media, everybody.
I'm really glad I did this podcast. I wasn't sure until now that
I've actually, this is probably the longest we've talked about farts for like a solid fucking like 15 minutes.
Well, that's the thing with like you and your family and stuff. Like you guys, you always say that you guys are, that's a topic of conversation.
Poop and farts have always been like a definitely like a go-to zone because it's funny. It's not. How is it not funny?
Some people don't like it, man.
I know they don't, but everyone does.
Yeah,
it.
But it's funny. You can admit that it's funny, but then there's like there's like class, like just like
there's you don't just do it in front of
a nice restaurant and be like, yeah.
Well, it's weird because like when you're growing up and like farts are funny to your immediate family, people who you know and love and trust, and then you do it out in the wild, like in school or something. Then it's not. Then that's your rude awakening. You know what I mean? Like that you find out that is not a normal thing to do by people remembering you as that guy years later.
It's like you were raised Baptist and you got sent to a church or a school of like kids who like didn't understand your upbringing at all.
Absolutely. Because that's not a normal thing to be like, I wouldn't say okay with, but I mean general fucking humor. By that point though, I mean, dude, I was the fourth kid. They stopped giving a fuck, after the third one. I think once my mom finally got a girl, because I have two older brothers and that's what she wanted, and I was a complete accident. And then they just stopped. You know what I mean? They're tired. They're old. You know what I mean? So their rules for, say, the older kids that they instead, hey, potty humor is not appropriate except for, this house. I didn't get any of that. So
when your brothers convince them that no, it's funny.
Yes, now it's funny.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
As we're getting older, though, you gotta be more careful when you're like farting for fun in front of people, because I did a joke fart about 5 years ago for my friends and I shit my pants. And it's a really great thing. My friend showed me this fun trick, and I was at this magic shop where I used to work when I was like 14 or 15, and my buddy did this fart joke that involves a real fart, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And what he did is he came up to me like this, like he was going to show me a magic trick. And just like, you know how magicians do that. He went down like this behind his ass and went like that. And then came out with his hand. And then as he opened up his hand, then he really farted.
That's incredible.
So like the sound.
That is brilliant, dude.
And then when you're 15, like I almost died.
Yeah.
That's
so about 5 years later, I was in the garage with all my buddies, and I was like, we're all drunk. I'm like, I got a good fart coming. It would be funny if I did this thing, and I did it. I opened up my hand, and I tried to fart, and it wouldn't happen. And so I forced it, and I just I dropped like a fucking like $50 in my underwear.
A little nugget.
Because timing is everything with comedy, and it just wasn't happening. I was like, I need to help this along. I can't bomb with this.
Going a little too hard.
Kaylee and I went to like a.
That's kind of like you blew your voice out.
Like you proved it.
Like I really got to hit this high note, and then you went too hard and you blew your voice out.
Above and beyond that joke. We were at Kaylee and I went to the Dominican Republic at some nice fancy fucking vacation resort. The place was like way too nice for us. You know what I mean? We felt out of place because this was like not a place where we got like an inn, like somebody that we knew got us like, you know what I mean? Like we shouldn't have been there.
My whole life is being really nice places I don't belong, and people looking at me like, why is this fucking?
We're like, I don't know.
Everybody just thinks I'm a DJ because I'm very high. I wear ridiculous sneakers. They probably just think is that Avicii? I thought he died.
The headphones gives it away.
Yeah, I'm always got headphones with me. I'm like, no, we do 45-minute fart segments on our show. I have to upload this now. Your Wi-Fi at this hotel better be fucking top notch.
I paid good money for this.
All right. Oh, no, I didn't. I just got points from buying other shit.
It was like our second day there, I think, and like, you know, I was like daiquiri and pina colada happy because like when you make that you don't make that for yourself, but when there's a guy like on like standby ready to give you one every 17 seconds, you're gonna fucking drink it.
Yeah.
So
that sugary drink, that's
tiny little guys. Sugary drinks will fuck you up.
Yes, and so this was like, you know, 12 hours of fucking drinking these things, and then we went to this really nice like Asian place for dinner. Yeah, massage bar. I went, and I shit in her hand. She hit my balls a little too hard, and I let one go. No, like so. We went out to dinner, and I was like feeling really weird at this point. I was like, uh-oh, you know. So I think we were gonna go to the bar afterwards, and we met like some people, and we were talking, and then like I let out I was like by myself sort of, and then these people came over that we met before and were talking to us, and I happened to shart right in front of them. And so they didn't know I sharted. They might have heard a fart. They were courteous. They didn't say anything, but so I was like, I look at Kaylee, I'm like, I got to go to the room. And I went up to the room.
Was the sound of it on an obvious shart? Like it was
yeah.
You can tell the difference. It wasn't it wasn't air. There was substance there.
It might be not as developed as a country, but I think they are well aware of what
if anybody knows, yeah.
It's not like, all right, so I get to the I get back to the hotel.
Drinking water over there is not that great, which I'm not a fan of.
No, I didn't do it.
Fix that.
No, it wasn't anything like that. It was just, you know, like a million daiquiris in the fucking sun all day, and then
I'm glad it wasn't like a
buffet
hibachi
spaghetti.
Place.
What's that?
I'm glad it wasn't at like a hibachi place where like you have to excuse yourself while the guy's doing the act.
Yeah.
The volcano and stuff. It's like, no.
You have volcano with your shit.
Yeah.
You've got to like flip the turds into the. That's how they do it at hibachi. You ever take a shit at hibachi? They take a spatula and they have to flip the turds into the toilet. And they do all these tricks with them. They light them on fire.
Why? What I don't get. What
presentation, man.
With the why do they all dress like Marlboro men? Do you ever notice that at a hibachi restaurant? Am I the only one who picks up on this?
I don't know. Isn't the Marlboro Man a cowboy?
Yes. Does anybody else know what the fuck I'm talking about? Please live chat.
I'm not following you. I'm not following you.
Nobody
I
has
haven't
seen
been to one in long enough to really.
Dude, I'm telling you.
I've been out to a restaurant.
All right, at least go to Fuji Grill, and I'm telling you, they're all dressed like cowboys, but Marlboro Man specifically.
That's what they think Americans want. Maybe they're just behind the
I
times.
guess, but I mean like
the guy who makes that decision just like loves John Wayne movies or something. Rich people are fucking crazy, and they can do whatever they want. If they want their staff to dress like fucking Hopalong Cassidy, they can make it happen.
That's for sure.
You
but
know what I
okay,
mean?
So I shit myself at this bar, right, in this resort, and so I excuse myself. I go to the room, and in the process of because I'm not done. That was just like the prelude to what was to come, you know what I mean? It was like the warning to the villagers that fucking the volcano's exploding, you know what I'm saying? Like the Pompeii moment. And I fucking it was one of those where you pull down your pants to
there's a couple frozen hugging and shit on.
Just shit, just like So all right, so I get to the toilet and I take off my pants barely, and I didn't make it in the toilet. Just to say, okay, this is right. So I was embarrassed, and plus, the dance party was getting started. So I'm like, all right. So I think I'm good. I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't see anything. I think I missed everything. Like I changed my underwear, but my pants were fine, right? But I was also 17 daiquiris deep, so my judgment wasn't really up to standard, right? So I get back down to the bar. And Kaylee's like, "Hey, you feeling better?" I'm like, "Yeah," and she's like. Then she looks and I like shit on my pants and she's like, Steve, like it's okay.
Mother
it's
of
okay.
God.
Go back to the room and either stay there, you know what I mean, or change your pants at least, you pathetic son of a bitch. And luckily I had asked her to marry me the day before and she said yes. So I think that's when I think my body and like my subconscious just like let everything go. It was like the true test. Like she said yes, but let's really see.
That's your fucking Bronx Tale test when he's like, you lock the door. She unlocks it for you. She's the one. You drink 17 banana daiquiris, shit your pants, and if she cleans it up, she's the one.
Yep. And she is.
I have a magician friend who shit his pants right before he went on stage. He sharted. It was at a banquet for magicians. So it was all the magicians in Buffalo. Once a year they have this banquet. It's usually at a nice hall, you know, where they have like proms and stuff, and they have featured performers. And I did it before when I was the junior featured performer before, but this guy was the senior performer, and he was backstage, and he getting ready to go up. And they say his name, and he farts and shits his pants. So he had to go up on stage and do an entire linking ring routine with his underwear just destroyed. Can you imagine?
And there's
having
no
to be
way
a
it
wizard?
doesn't smell, dude. And it doesn't smell like somebody farted. It smells like an actual human.
You gotta have a
shit.
hell of a poker face to pull that off too. Like you could just, even if like you didn't have a sense of smell, you'd look at his face and go, I think that guy's got shit in his pants. Like there's no other face. You could see it in his eyes.
Well, he was a seasoned professional, so he did.
Dude, that's
job.
a fucking gangster right there. He made
It's
it
like
through
how
and he did the
Carson
whole thing.
says, you know, one day you'll use everything that you learned.
So that was a very important day. He learned quite a lesson that day.
Do you remember when we were playing that show at Sunset, and it was a time where I wasn't wearing underwear for a few years, and my favorite pair of jeans had like a bunch of rips in them and stuff like that. They were like my favorite, you know, jeans, but they were old. And I think we were doing sound check, and I like bent over to like, you know, adjust something on one of my pedals, and like my fucking ass like split open, like on the jeans. And but like if I turn around, the crowd's gonna notice. But so what do? So I just, you know, the whole band can see my ass essentially. Like Greg, the drummer, had to stare at my ass for an entire.
And he's sitting down too, so it's like what we talked about before about like you just sitting right eye level at it.
And
you didn't have underwear on?
No, I didn't. No, like it was straight ass through the jeans, you know. And I remember like we were asking people because that was kind of we were kind of like far away from home. It was like a half hour back to Lewiston because it was out in Wilson. So like, it was a long because I was like maybe I can like I was asking people for duct tape, like maybe I can tape my pants, and it just wasn't working. So I had no choice. We had a break, and I had to drive back to my parents' house. Explain to them what I was doing, you know what I mean? Tried not to show them my ass, but all trying to be courteous. But like the time is of a factor, so I must. Or time is a factor.
Yeah.
I gotta fucking change my pants here.
My perspective on that is I'm in the parking lot with some friends at set break, and we're just in a circle hanging out, and our bass player comes peeling out of the fucking thing. Screaming, I gotta go change my pants. And like we're like, what the fuck just happened? I think Steve just should have spent, like you said, half an hour. Like you probably did it in 45 minutes. Sped there, sped back. Yeah. That whole time.
That's a long.
Everybody's
set break. That's
asking,
as long as a fucking set.
Yeah,
is,
everybody's
dude.
asking where the fuck is Steve? And they're like, he had to go change his pants, so I think he shit his pants. Everyone's like, yeah.
No, years later, after you could say I matured some, is when I shit my pants.
It's like, why did Steve back up off stage at the end, bowing like a Japanese businessman?
Yeah,
what would be funny is if your pants split and your band had to look at your ass, and you had one of those butt plugs with the tail. And
we found out Steve's a furry.
It was like my fucking, what was that, 50 Shades of Grey, you know what I mean? My master's over there.
Yeah, so Kaylee's over there with the thing on her phone. Just every time she does that, the fucking bass goes on.
it's one of those iPads that control the sound for the band too.
Yeah. That would be a fucking. There's got to be some chick band who's done that, because they have the fucking vibrators that go with the music, right?
Is that a thing?
You put it in, and then you just start playing guitar, and that's how you can get it done yourself. You know exactly. You know that's.
Imagine the sound guy turning up Steve's butt plug.
Steve, he's just in between every song. He's like more bass.
Yeah, more
bass.
I got nothing up here.
I'm just like,
need some more of my monitor.
I need some more low end.
Encore. No, I'm good. Like,
oh man, that sucked. I couldn't feel anything up there.
That's what I think.
Are you feeling it?
That's what I say. Like when I'm like, we want to set up. We got to get a fucking sound system that's like, when I hit a bass note, I want people to have to take a shit. Like you want it to rumble them. That's
I remember my dad. He's a musician and he had this like kind of old guy.
He would love this particular segment.
Right? No, but it's sort of it's a bit of a segue, but it's the same. So like they played classic rock songs. My dad's cool as fuck. Being able to play music with him is like amazing, and he's like a great singer, and he plays guitar and everything. So he's playing with his band. And like like if they're like really into it, like because he's not very like he's not like a showman necessarily, but when he's into it, he like you can tell like he'll take like a little step forward type of thing and like maybe do something that would be out of his comfort zone. So one of those things where he's playing the Doors, he's playing Backdoor Man or something like that.
Okay.
By the Doors, right? And he goes, and before the solo, he's like, "Come on, girl, show me that back door." And he's like really into it. And I was like, did my dad just say that to a crowd of people? And I remember my brother and I were looking, and he said it like all like, because my dad's like, he's very, proper. But he was into it in the moment. It was like his moment. And he just like improvised, but in a very strange section of the song.
He innocently thinks they're talking about the door to her house.
Yes. Like,
and she's like, oh, late at night. Like, oh, remember when we first started dating, you would sneak over late at night and come in the back door so my roommate didn't wake up. Like, that's their like rosy thing of it. And we're the generation who's like, that means asshole, right?
And my mom's over there like,
because we fucked it up. It was nice.
I'm like, ow, ow. He like winks at my mom. Come on, girl.
Show me that rainbow trout.
Show me that Hershey Highway. All right.
That'd be even funnier if you didn't know your dad. And you just be like, dude, I saw this band the other night. It was a bunch of dads. They were a bunch of like nice fellas. This guy was hearing like a guy who's like a teacher. He's not a teacher legally. I'm just saying he has the demeanor of a very astute.
He's very well spoken.
Yes, a very intelligent man. He's like, come on, girl, show me that back door.
Yeah, and even the way
we're hoping that you all show us your back door after the show. Now time for Mustang Sally.
Yeah.
He sounds like a really hip proctologist.
Yeah. All right, now, hey, how was your day? Was it nice? Yeah,
right,
it's sure nice
out
there. Okay, girl, show me that back door.
Show me your back door.
Hello. That's just a proctologist joke.
Now it's time for Brown Eyed Girl. Everyone, who's got a brown eye?
Girl, show me that brown eye.
The last one was all tit jokes.
Yeah.
We're just going to hit every bodily function. We're going to be here one day with a fucking like book on like the human anatomy.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
What's funny about kneecaps? I don't know.
Urethra Franklin. Okay, I think we can work with that. Yeah.
Is it really called, is it gonads like a medical term? Because I remember.
That sounds like a fucking Pokemon or some shit.
The gonads are like the shitty ones.
I choose
like some weird little, yeah. It does like.
I remember fucking and it's like two little Pokeballs attached to each other, and then they open up.
Or it's just Nads. It's like, go, Nads.
Yeah, go, Nads.
But I remember, like, we would say, like, you call you fucking skateboarding and you land, with the fucking, like that.
Yeah.
And it would be like, I got hit in the gonads. You call your nuts your gonads to be funny. And I didn't know it was, like, a medical thing. And, like, I remember in the 7th grade, it's like, we're going to talk about sex today, so everybody be mature. And I was like, I'm not going to laugh. I'm a fucking man. I know my shit. I ain't going to laugh like a little kid. She's like, we're going to talk about the female gonads. And I was like, just like held my face. I was like, because you heard your 7th grade teacher say gonads, which I thought was like street language. You know what I mean? And it's like, Mr. Thurman, pull yourself together. And I was like, I can't handle you. Don't say it again.
Did you say testicles?
No, it would be testicles. It would be male reproductive organs. She's like gonads. If you're in 7th grade,
well, she said like your fucking nads or your nards or some shit like that. You know
I think there was a hair removal product called Nads.
Really?
And it was like the cream they'd rub on and then rip off with the wax. I'm pretty sure it was
Wasn't
called
that
Nads
Nair?
or Nerds. No, the Nair was a different thing. It was fucking.
I think you're right.
It's ball hair.
Are you talking to me or Steve?
Product?
No, Nads, I think, was a hair removal thing.
Yeah.
No shit.
That's
Do you have any
the
idea?
suppressed laughter in class is like the worst. I was just fucking couldn't breathe after my science teacher was talking about Homo erectus.
Yeah.
Yeah. How could you not
funny.
laugh at that, dude? Like, come on.
And it's coming out of like that. Like if your friend kept saying Homo erectus, it wouldn't be that funny anymore. It's a teacher saying it. It's like it's fucking amazing. It's like if the teacher farted or something. It's like like the fucking cloak fell away. You lost your powers for a second. You know what I mean? It's fucking great. It's like kids swearing. Like a little kid swearing is the funniest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah, that is true.
You have to tell them to stop while you're laughing.
Dude,
like
your poor nephew, man. When we were growing up, man, in high school, because he was just this little fucking kid that would just happen to hang out with us, and we were fucking teenagers.
It was sort of like a Jungle Book situation. It was like we turned this little kid into like a teenager.
Yeah.
Like they would argue over the fucking Super Nintendo, and he'd be like, "Fuck you, man, it's my turn." Like at 3.
Because I remember, like he's like, yeah, we'd be doing something, or he wanted to play, and we were like, no, like we're so mature, like no, it's our time for video game time, kid.
Well, no, because
I remember you were like
3. He would just run into a wall, and it would take fucking forever.
I know it was annoying,
And
but
then
like,
he would get upset.
He would. You would say like, "Yeah, fuck you, kid," and he'd go. I remember one time he like walked away. He like had it because that was not the first time he had heard that, and he was like, "No, fuck you," and like ran away. And I remember your mom came down, dude. She was so mad at you, but it was the funniest thing in the world because that kid. I mean, he said it with everything he had, and like he was just like, "No, fuck you,"
Because that was the catchphrase. Was "fuck you." It was very funny. It's very fucking funny. I don't know. You ever curse with any kids, Joe? I have a.
No, I kept it pretty clean. I'm terrified of like
Here's another fucking
profanity with kids.
Yeah, me too. And I always I can't talk without. Look at me. I'm trying to not curse right now. I'm fucking stuttering mess. Fucking stuttering, muttering prick. Fucking. I have another idea for like a joke. It'd be a roast joke. But this is what being a fan is weird because. You spent like your buddy Bobby. I'm like, yeah, I know Bobby. I don't know Bobby at all.
Right.
But
right.
you know more about these guys. I know more about those guys than I know about him. I've known him my whole life. Like,
right.
But they're so honest on the radio. You feel like you know them, so you start to come up with kind of funny jokes. So like, it would be a joke about how Bobby decided to name his son, and he was thinking about it one day, and he stepped on a scale and he looked down and it said Max. You get it? It's a cute joke. It's cute. But I don't know the man. I don't know the son. It's inappropriate for me to be making jokes like that. But you know where I'm coming from. As a fan,
I feel bad. I've made some fat jokes to him. Like,
I don't know the
way
man.
too
I
early
feel
on,
bad
I
about
think.
that, but that one's kind of too clever. I kind of had to let it go.
It's pretty good. Maybe I'll use it.
You can take credit for it. I can't believe you thought
Unless
of that.
you plan
he was
on
your friend, man.
hanging out with him.
You were probably seeing him before I do. You're in his fucking house.
I'm literally in his house. Oh,
I'm just saying
and,
that's one of those things where like you do feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Those guys have talked about it, like where you say shit on the radio or upon a podcast, you feel bad, but you're like, it was so funny, I had to say it. I'm not saying that about this particular thing, but it's like it was there and you had to hit it, and then you go, I feel bad about this one. That video we watched last week, I'm still not over.
Yeah, me neither. But that just shows my ignorance. You know what I mean? And that's me being honest. I thought this chick was just raging to some fucking boogie woogie fucking piano, and turns out she had Down syndrome. I filmed her because I thought it was funny.
See, now look at the momentum just got weird. Because we both just got
I thought it was funny because who jams that hard to fucking boogie woogie music, dude? And then now I realize.
It was very clear by the video, Joe, that this woman was not well, and Steve didn't pick up on it, I guess.
Okay, I sent you a photo, or should I just do the lame way and show it on my phone?
Show it, because I don't know.
Okay, so I was driving at work, and there's this company I passed by called Steve's Meat, and they have a car that's wrapped in, like the advertising thing.
Yeah,
It's called Steve's Meat, but it's the littlest car. Can you see that? No, you can't.
Oh, no, I really can't.
Yeah.
It's like a.
See?
It's like you're lighting me to get off stage.
I know. Okay, time's up, man. And
Well,
that's
you
my
get
time,
the.
too.
It's
like a
Steve's,
fucking.
It's a car that says Steve's Meat, but it's very, very small.
It's one of those little electric cars. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like the tiniest possible car that they can pick to advertise Steve's
Poor
Meat.
Steve.
Yeah.
Steve's
And I
Meat.
was like, well, that's accurate.
I love
like,
I love
well,
fucking the crazy fucking cars with the wraps on. There's this moving company here in New York. It's called Moisha's Moving Company, which is it's like what's the slogan for that? Like, sure, we'll move you up to the 3rd story, but it's gonna cost you.
What was
Sure,
it?
we'll individually wrap your silverware, but it's gonna cost you.
What was the one you saw the other day that said like cash for kid stuff?
All right. Tell me what you think about this. All right. So it was on the back of a bus in Buffalo, and there's no website, there's no number, there's no link, there's no nothing. It just says, it's a little kid who looks very eager and happy. It says, cash for kid stuff. That's it. It's very ambiguous. It's very, to me, I immediately go dark. I'm like, this is fucked. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know if there's any other way to
these
go with
weirdos
that.
are getting, like, they're getting some fucking balls, man. Like, you know what I mean? They're advertising on buses now, but can you tell groups like NAMBLA or something like that they can't advertise on a bus? You know what I mean?
What
where's
kind
the
of
line
bus? A city bus or a school bus?
was
Very,
a
very big fucking difference.
It was a city
with this
bus.
particular.
It was a
situation.
city bus. It
All
was
right.
a city bus.
It was actually on the Lolita Express.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know. Very off-putting, man. Because like, what the fuck is that, man?
I
Like,
think
you
it
know
was
what I mean?
just they didn't have
If I
enough
wrote
letters.
if I fucking put a status on Facebook and I just said cash for kid stuff and no explanation and just put it out there, wouldn't you be like, Steve's
they're-
fucking lost it, man.
And there'd be guys with windbreakers that say FBI, like running through and dumping this laptop
Somebody,
out.
yeah, exactly. But like, it's just fucking what a weird, lame business model, I guess. But it's just like no explanation, no link, not even one of those fucking QR codes or anything like that. It was just cash for
No
kids
phone?
stuff.
No phone number?
Nothing, dude. Nothing.
Oh, that's really, really
just
weird.
cash for kids stuff. Like, and we were talking like it could be what, like you for like their toys.
I think they're
sure.
selling kids stuff. They just didn't have another S for the van. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They thought that made sense. They didn't see the creepiness in it. And you did, and you brought it to us, and now we can't
here
see
we
it
are.
any other way.
Yeah, but it's like, cash for kids stuff, or like stuffing kids,
That's
stuffing them
that's
with,
where you
stuffing
went
them
way over.
with what, that
What if instead of a phone number or like a link, it was just like a meetup place
Yeah. Cash for kids stuff. Right
in the
at
Ellicott
park.
Creek men's room?
or it's like a little like like a fucking Google Earth thing, but it's all the red dots, and it happens to be where all the offenders are in your area. You know what I mean?
It's like geocaching, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
They
I was
should've-
like, what is that, like Bitcoin? I forgot about that whole geocache thing.
You would like go around and find money or something?
Sort of. Geocaching is like, right, where people like hide different things, right?
Yeah.
Around
Yeah. It's like a guest book
city.
or something.
Yeah,
or
like
you could. Yeah.
I think they should have like kind of combined the predator map that you were talking about, where you look up the sex offender registries and it's all that. They should have combined that with Pokemon Go, and you go catch them.
That would be. I'm surprised. No, but like, didn't they have a fucking issue with that Pokemon Go shit where
people
like
were walking
predators
into
would,
the fucking highway?
Yeah, but not even people walking off cliffs, but like predators would play that shit too.
And they would
you know what I
find
mean?
where
And
the
yeah,
kid
they'd
would
find
be.
like they're like, oh, I'm gonna put this fucking Charizard in the woods. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but you know, a creepy guy is gonna find anything and exploit
I'm gonna
it.
put this Charizard in the woods like you're fucking baiting a bear.
exactly. What were you saying, Joe?
Oh,
I'm done with
it's not important.
this. Yeah,
It's not important.
I'm all right.
You can only get in trouble at this point.
This fucking game's great. I caught like 21 kids. It's fucking fantastic. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
I never thought of it.
They
like
come
that.
to me, you know what I mean? Like no more. I can't be around a school, but you know
But
I can
imagine
catch a
if
fucking
you went into
Pokemon.
them and you're like, "Hey, I gotta talk to you guys. All right, this new thing you have, people could potentially use it to pick up children. They could put a Charizard in the wood and pick up the kids. They'd be like, all right, okay, lock that guy in that room right now. Call the cops. Like,
if I was the
thought of
guy
that,
who brought it to their
you're
attention,
like, this could be a potential problem, and they're like, no one ever thought of that. You're not well.
you know, sometimes you got to think like them in order to, you know.
Yeah.
Police go in the woods. There's just like one of those glue traps with like 13 kids.
We'll get him.
There's like a bad, like
Did you
in
bring the
Star
coffee?
Wars
It's gonna
when
be a
they're in the
long
fucking
night.
basket. Bunch of Elmer Fudd traps set for fucking.
You mean like a claw machine? Like where you get a stuffed animal?
That's what I said. When we had that one with Jimmy, I was like, the fucking a rape whistle doesn't really work because it just lets other rapists in the area know that the party's over here.
You should try that on Colton Kelly.
Yeah, I give you permission.
Yeah, I mean, I need some jokes. Sure,
Yeah.
that'll be my first rape joke ever.
Be like,
I got
whoa,
plenty of them, man.
Joe took a left. What happened? He spent a week in the shed and went nuts.
He smoked 13
Why
cigars.
is it all
lost his
shit
mind.
and shit and rape jokes that you have? Like what did you do at my house?
Yeah, this is a lot different than last week. Who you been hanging out with?
You all meet a girl, you're like, want to come back to the shed? And you're like, no, trust me, it's legit. Like it's a real, it's not a shed. But I mean, okay, I lost. All right, you want to see some magic?
Gonna make my penis disappear.
Please tell me you've used that before.
Yeah, that's like it's probably a stock line.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah.
I'm not. You see, if I
That's the take my wife please of the magic community.
I'm not in the magic world. To me, I'm like, that's new to me. I think that's fantastic. But if I say am not a magician and I use that, that wouldn't work out. So it probably doesn't work out well for magicians either. But I mean, if you take the magic element out of it, and I'm just like, hey, I bet you I can make my dick disappear. You know what I mean? Like that's my line to a girl. Or if I was off duty,
Yeah,
magician.
did the Harry Potter kids ever get like freaky with the magic stuff? You could make some. I mean, they turned into teenagers
Oh,
at the
yeah.
end. You could just be like fucking naked as Bendicus.
Rufius Maximus,
Rufius Maximus.
I mean, yeah, that's you can get dark with that, and I'm like, so what if I was like J.K. Rowling's editor, and then I brought that up? I'm like, well, okay, in the realm of magic, like I brought up the kid traps and stuff like that. Like, why are you thinking about that? That's not the thing that I'm gonna bring. It's not a reality I would like to face in my children's novel, Steve. You know what I mean? But I mean, Rufius Maximus it's got to be some spell. I mean, it has to. And somebody had to have come up with it. You know what I mean?
Who's the bad guy from
Voldemort.
Harry Potter? Voldemort. It'd be so much scarier if he also rape the kids.
It'd be much. I think the stakes would be much higher.
It'd be sort of a Freddy Krueger situation.
Yeah.
So they like burned his face onto the back of his face or something. I don't know how the fuck they did that. They moved his face around to the back of his head.
He just left like a crusty jizz stain that looked like a fucking lightning bolt. That's really what it is. He just drew it with his dick instead of They tried to, make it nice with the whole, like, he tried to kill him. But no, really what he did was just use his fucking forehead as a cloth.
Imagine trying to describe Voldemort to a police sketch artist. Like, no, there's no nose.
No, there's no nose. All right. It starts off, he's on the front. He looks like this guy. Now turn the piece of paper over. And on the other side of the piece of paper, draw the face. Because isn't that how they first
in the first one?
In the first one, he's on the back of the dude's head. I don't know if I ever made it past that.
I don't
you'd
think
have
so.
to
That
do
was
like
the very first
you'd
movie.
have to do like one of those old Bugs Bunny T-shirts that had the front of them on the front, and then the back of them on the back.
What was
That's
that?
how you'd have to
I
sketch
had that
it.
fucking Masters of the Universe toy. Was it Many Faces? The one that you could turn and switch his face.
Imagine doing doggy style with some girl and she has a face on the back of her head, like looking at you.
But she's the one who's not into it. You know what I mean? Like you're dating one Siamese twin, but not the other. So
you're like it's like banging the mayor from Nightmare Before Christmas.
His head just turn around. You start doing shit he doesn't like, it goes to the side, the sad side. You start doing it good, he goes to the happy side.
You touch the butthole, and then the sad face comes around.
That's great.
Holy fuck, man! All right,
I forgot the fuck I was just gonna bring up.
I don't know, man. It's gone to a dark place. It usually does.
This is a dark place. It's just having sex with the mayor from Nightmare Before Christmas. This isn't dark at all. I'm sure there's some extended scenes. You know?
As an animator, why wouldn't you animate the fucking mayor?
Tim Burton was a weird guy, man. He might have had a fucking whole different cut of that movie before the producers fucking chopped it up.
Do you ever see that trailer where they make Mrs. Doubtfire, but it looks like a horror movie?
Yeah,
they just kind of change the music, and it's all they didn't like add any new footage. It's just really in a different context. It's super creepy. I mean, the whole movie is
they
fucking
did that with The
insane.
Shining once.
Oh,
you see that? They turned into a positive like indie movie.
Yeah.
Really?
And they had like Rusted Root play and like all the way, as like the cars like driving up to the Overlook Hotel. I would like to.
That's amazing, man. The music, fucking definitely. Rusted Root kind of adds that family quality to anything.
There's those songs that you hear. There's a real trend, and I need to like make a compilation of like every movie trailer now has a very slow, spacey, sad version of a song we all know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
Right. Like a nice, like a Billie Eilish sort of saying, like
it's like a pop song or like an old pop song. Yeah.
Or it's like all around me are familiar faces.
Yeah, it's that vibe of that song.
It's a
but
vibe,
it's
but
just
it's a
like,
song that's not that at all.
She's my cherry pie.
Yeah.
The killer was on the loose.
7530.
Like it makes it like ironic. Like I think one trailer did it, and they were like, "That's pretty clever." Now everyone does
every
it.
fucking trailer, man. It really is. It's
Sing oh blah dee blah da.
Yeah. Just some bing ba with the ba da bang da bang diggy diggy and bing. And Gary Oldman's just like, we can't let this go on.
Dogs out. You know,
we gotta make
it's
a
like
whole
the new
compilation
James
of
Bond
these.
trailer. Yeah,
They just do like weird, like slow, spacey, sad versions.
It's every fucking. Yeah, they seriously, they're like, all right, that worked. Let's fucking do it for everything. That's Hollywood, though, man.
Yeah,
Seriously,
fucking
I mean-
hey, it's bought one house. Fucking
I'm a backdoor man.
Come on, girl.
We just shows a quick shot of Colin Farrell's face.
door.
Yeah, if he was like in a metal band, that would be kind of strange.
Show me your back door.
Show me your back door.
Cheeseburger in paradise.
So you know what the fuck we're talking about, man.
I would love to edit some trailers. Actually, Tim Dillon did just like release one like today, where it's that fucking "Say Something I'm Giving," but it's like a children's choir singing it. And he made like a fake trailer. It's fucking hysterical. But it's that same idea. Like look up any movie trailer. The Batman trailer uses the Nirvana song. They all just pick like, hey, remember this, kids? Everything's so nostalgic now. Yeah, everything's just a repeat of another thing. Mm-hmm. It's fucking weird,
dude. It's weird, man. Mom jeans are back. Mom jeans are a thing. You know what I mean? High waisted everything.
And you're,
especially in Brooklyn.
New York.
Especially in Brooklyn.
Oh, dude, you're in the thick of it.
But I mean, it's fine. It looks great, you know. But it's like, and even like the fucking side part and the crazy like frilly fucking hair and acid wash jeans, like some of the weird stuff from the 80s is like making a fucking comeback. And it's like, I don't know, the shit that I used to make fun of, and now it's like
any trendy shit's funny because like you look at like any of your parents look at old pictures, they're like, oh, I can't believe we used to dress like that.
Yeah.
And it's just you're looking at people going, that you're gonna do that. You're gonna look back and go like, why did I wear suspenders for all of 2008?
I saw like a relatively hot chick the other day, but like this definitely didn't help her at all. She had like the, you know, like Napoleon fucking Dynamite's fucking girlfriend, and she's got like the side ponytail. Yeah, that's what she had going on. I mean, everything else worked, and then she had that, and I was like, dude, too much 80s, too much fucking 80s. Get out of
Brooklyn.
here.
In Brooklyn, they'll have that, and then the other half is shaved.
Yeah.
Like the side of their head is shaved.
You can do whatever you want, I guess. It's just like the thing is like
get a job, lesbians. You know, I can't keep up with these.
It's just very clear that they're like you trying to just like hang on to like some sort of relevance, I guess. Like when you see like a guy who's too old to get that shaved side of the head haircut that all the younger kids are getting, and you're just like, nah, dude, it's too late for that. You're like 43. It's fine. It's over. You're a dude now. Just be a dude.
Just be you've pretty much outlived, like you've passed the point of decision making. Like if you're still not sure what you're never gonna figure it out by this point. There's a certain point
you got to give up on trends, on trying to hit trends.
How about just a guy
if you're an older person
riding a skateboard around?
Yeah, that's just, I have a longboard and I do enjoy skating around Lewiston until one time like I hit this patch and I started fucking wiggling, and then I just like my whole calendar flashed before my eyes of gigs where I had to play instruments to make money to pay for my house. And I was like, this is fucking dumb. This is the dumbest thing. And I don't want to shock anybody. The fucking health plan at Thermopolis Media, not that good. Some fucking duct tape and an Advil.
Okay, so if you're an older person and you switch teams, right? Genders, not teams. That's different. Okay, say like Caitlyn Jenner, right? And so she's relatively old, but she gets a new looking vagina, or did they match it to?
I think she has her penis
surrounding
still, which is a weird sentence to say.
I'm just saying that is a very odd thing. No, it's normal, man. It's got to be normal, you know. Masks and fucking.
So she does have.
I don't know if
I never met the gal.
I remember
so
she won Woman of the Year, or was named Woman of the Year while still having a dick, which is mind blowing.
It's funny. I mean, that's funny. I think it's hilarious. It's great.
It is. It's
if
so
I
funny.
could have voted, which
they're
I don't
like,
think they would
you
let
all
me.
suck. Give it to the guy with a dick. You know what I mean? Like, follow suit here.
Hell
like,
yeah.
You know, come on.
But I know what
take
you're
the
saying.
hint.
I know what you're saying. Do they like? Is it like having like an old car, but there's a new engine in it?
Like a
are all the parts
refurbished, exactly.
They put in the fucking vagina of a dead 66-year-old woman.
Right. Or is it just like, so like she's like kind of wrinkly and shit like that, and all of a sudden you take off her pants and bam, here's like this
perfect
fucking
22-year-old
pussy. Yeah,
there.
like this, you know what I'm saying? Or like a brand new dick on like a fucking old guy, you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like, which if you're an older transgender person, you don't have to worry about the tits because they're practically the same. You know what I mean?
Did you hear what Tim Dillon said about her on Joe Rogan like a week ago? He said, I don't see her as a man or a woman. I see her as a murderer.
Yeah, everyone forgets about that, don't they? Yeah. Dude, that's why I loved that South Park, man. Well, that whole season ended with
buckle up,
buckaroos, and fucking she would just always end up hitting a bunch of people, and nothing happened. You know what I mean? It was fucking amazing. They just didn't let anyone forget, you know.
All right, man. And we've been going for a while here, huh?
Yeah, I gotta pee.
Yeah, me too. All right, buddy. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. This is a lot of fucking fun.
Yeah, buddy. Let's not wait. Let's not wait 5 more years to do it again.
No, seriously,
man.
we can do this all the
Anytime.
fucking time, all the fucking time. And everybody, don't associate Joe with anything me or this fucking crazy fucker has said. We're 3 separate people. Don't be like, just because he was sitting with them, don't fucking.
It's easier for you to say when I'm usually in a different room, but now we're together.
But I don't want like him to get like a good opportunity and then them find this. And then Joe gets sent off to Shane Gillis Island. Like, I don't want to do
Sounds
that.
amazing.
Yeah, actually, it is.
It's actually
like,
just Japan. That's all.
that's like when they're like, "Well, hey, do you want to? You're gonna go to hell when you die?" And you're like, "Well, according to you, that's where Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and Sam Kinison are." So yeah, that's actually kind of.
God's got the worst fucking playlist, man. Like, go to church. The music sucks.
I live across the street from a church. He plays the same song every hour.
It blows, man. It's so lame. Satan's got the best. Sabbath, Zeppelin, man. That's the fuck that.
Yeah, I'm putting my vote in. Get me a room down there.
Yeah,
good one. All right, man. Thanks a lot, buddy. It was great talking to you, man.
Guys.
Keep it up. Man. Everybody go follow Joke Russell on Instagram and everything.
Yeah, Jokes Russell. And we got a new cheese show every Wednesday.
Oh, the cheese show's great, man. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, buddy. It was really good talking to you.
All right, guys. Take care.
Later. End stream. End. Is it over?